She always wore dress suits and pearls. Our favorite treat was lady fingers, and I have her curls. And my mama's from Australia, and she grew up without a dad. And so she raised a home that gave us what she never had. And on the farm where I spent my childhood, riding horses and writing songs, oh, I'm still that child, that's still where I belong. 'Cause I'm a country girl, I love the trees and the flowers, those well-spent hours staring up at the stars. Oh, I'm a country girl, though I live in the city, and those lights sure are pretty, but I'd happily rather be sitting on the porch picking up my guitar. I would rather be happily sitting on the porch picking on my guitar. Oh, my daddy's from Memphis. He used to hunt in Arkansas, and then he moved to New York City. It's where he met my mom. He wrote his mom and dad a letter: I'll be a millionaire by 25. I don't know which one of us dreams bigger. I have his heart and drive. And he always told me and my sister, when we were scared to bait a hook, girls, you don't want to be no city slickers. So I'm a country girl, I love the trees and the flowers, those well-spent hours staring up at the stars. Oh, I'm a country girl, though I live in the city, those lights are so pretty, but I'd happily rather be sitting on the porch picking my guitar. Oh, my grandma was a lady. She always wore dress suits and pearls. Our favorite treat was lady fingers, and I have her curls. And my mama's from Australia, and she grew up without a dad. And so she raised a home that gave us what she never had. And on the farm where I spent my childhood, riding horses and writing songs. Oh, I'm still that child, that's still where I belong. 'Cause I'm a country girl, I love the trees and the flowers, those well-spent hours staring up at the stars. Oh, I'm a country girl, though I live in the city, and those lights sure are pretty, but I'd happily rather be sitting on the porch picking up my guitar. I would rather be happily sitting on the porch picking on my guitar.
Yes, it's another beautiful Saturday morning. You are welcome to today's edition of the Saturday Morning Treat. It's actually the last one in the month of June. Yes, I have someone pairing with me this morning. Kayode Adebayo, welcoming you on board Saturday Morning Treat. Good morning.
Aloche, good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you slept well.
Fine.
Yes, I also hope you slept well. The weather has been clement, cold. It's often described as the weather for two. Yes, and while the weather is cold and people get it cozy, the question is, do you have your PVC with you? How did you have yours?
Yes, I have.
All right. It's good to know that you have. Yes, I'm also asking you out there, do you have your PVC? And INEC has extended the collection of the PVC to all the wards in the state. So you have the opportunity to go to the ward where you registered and collect your PVC. And the state government also declared a public holiday yesterday for people to go and collect their PVCs. And also, state governorship election is just around the corner.
Yes.
And it's when?
It's July 16th.
Exactly. July 16th. So go get your PVC and be ready to vote in the candidate of your choice. And this is one of the issues we will be taking a look at this morning on the Saturday Morning Treat. We will take a look at the PVC collection, preparation for Russian 2022 Gilbert poll. And our guest.
On that Gilbert poll is the Alhaji Sheikh Mohammed, yes. HOD, Election and Party Monitoring, INEC Osun State.
Yes, he's going to be our guest on the preparation for Russian 2022 governorship poll. And we'll also have another issue we will be looking at this morning, and a very important one at that, the face-off between the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Supreme Court justices. Yes. We'll also have Barrister Wunili, who will be doing justice to that. And before then, immediately after this parade, SMT Sport will be coming on board with
Omotayo Adebodu.
Yes, Omotayo Adebodu will be telling us everything we need to know from the world of sport. And thereafter, we'll take a look at what we have on the pages of the newspapers
today.
And thereafter, the Governor's Week.
Yes,
when we have opportunities to, if you've missed stories from the Governor's office, you will have the opportunity to catch up with them today on the Governor's Week's angle. Yes, it's a loaded package for us this morning. A loaded package. I can assure you, you will enjoy it. So stay tuned, relax, as I invite Omotayo Adebodu for the SMT Sport. Good morning.
Less so today, you would think, if things go to plan, but can Sierra Leone, young striker, again playing for Lille, and now causing a stir in Syria. They went to Tunisia '94 as Victor Osimhen tries. Too much pace, but now on the replay, blink and we'd miss it, and Nigeria have an early lead. Alex Iwobi. So today, you would think, if things go to plan, but can Sierra Leone, young striker, again playing for Lille, and now causing a stir in Syria. They went to Tunisia '94 as Victor Osimhen tries. Too much pace, but now on the replay, blink and we'd miss it, and Nigeria have an early lead. Alex Iwobi, the man celebrating. Well, we were just seeing the Sierra Leone Premier League side. Lovely ball. Balogun out of position. He's just letting the ball run. Now, Nigeria, with that little warning, sends it into Victor Osimhen. Well, he's certainly like that. Full back on the left, Zaidu Sanusi. And it's an absolute stunning third. Well, you no wonder it's a shocked look on Kamara's face. By Akpo Guma. And now on the break is a lovely touch from Samuel to get in on goal. Slips his way through! Well, like he was just slaloming him down the slopes of the Alps. Samuel. That's lovely. Slinking run. Well, looked a certainty. This time, his skill doesn't come off. Trying to make a challenge, but now Sierra Leone in on goal, and they have got one back. Well, they know they're playing for pride, and they're certainly showing assist for Victor Osimhen. And it could have been hovering. Excellent ball in towards the striker. Well, he's in the Osimhen, trying to make a movement for Iheanacho, but he decides to go himself. Onto his favourite left foot. And Wobie kicks, but the header has turned into an opportune moment for Victor Osimhen. Well, he just hesitated to make the most of this cameo appearance, but it's a lovely ball whipped in, and Sierra Leone suddenly have a second. Out of nothing, a brilliant cross being bypassed there. And a superb chance, Sierra Leone! What a story this is turning out to be. They were dead and buried after half an hour. The current record, 10 victories and 4. They're still on course for that. But suddenly, there's a lot of twitchiness, and Sierra Leone have got an equaliser. Nigeria shoot themselves in the foot. And a famous result is very much now in the grasp of Sierra Leone. They've shown such determination and belief when no one else would have. Alachi Iheanacho, but it's over. Hit forward. And there's the final whistle. Well, it might only be a point for Sierra Leone, and it might not be enough to see them try and get out of the group, but this will feel like a win. They were 4-0 down at 30 minutes. They were 4-1 down at half-time. And yet somehow...
Right, Golden Eagles of Nigeria taking on Burkina Faso in the final of the Waffle Zone B Under-17 tournament. Both of these teams have qualified for the CAF competition, which will be hosted in Algeria next year. But right now, we're trying to see who the best of the best is. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And we start with the Golden Eagles on the back foot. A foul against Jeremiah Olaleke. He brings down Abdurrahmane Ouedraogo, and that's a foul right in front of the box. Yellow card given to him. And the free kick is taken by Ousmane Kamara. Gets it over the wall and forces goalkeeper Richard Odo into a fine save, and that keeps the score at 0-0 right there. A beautiful save by the goalkeeper. Take nothing away from the free kick. It was actually a nice one. Tried to get it at the top corner, but the goalkeeper said no on that note. And you have Ebubere Kere getting it to Abubakar Abdullahi. He plays the ball wide. Nice pass by Kere, but Abdullahi just could not find the target. Score still 0-0. And this is a beautiful pass by Basil Mbata, finding Emmanuel Michael. He tries to get it past the goalkeeper at his near post, but the goalkeeper makes the save. Beautiful pass over the top, gets it to Emmanuel, and he just tries to put it past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper stopped that right there. And here we have Burkina Faso on the ball. Ousmane Kamara again with a strike at goal. This time a routine save for Richard Odo. As you see, gets past his defender. The only one thing on his mind was to smack the ball, but he just didn't catch it right enough. Next, we have the Golden Eagles on the ball. Emmanuel Michael with a delectable pass. Abubakar Abdullahi on the end of it. Gets his head on the ball, and that's the first goal of the game. Mbata gets the ball to Emmanuel Michael. A beautiful cross and a delectable header right there. Nice run by Abubakar Abdullahi to get it between those two defenders. gets his head on the ball, and that's that. Another opportunity for the Golden Eagles. This time, Yahya Lawal with a pass forward. Abubakar gets a touch on it. Jabril Aziz receives the ball and decides to return the favor to Abdullahi, but he just misses the ball totally, and the chance goes away. He tries to get it to his teammate. Ebube Akere tries to make his way into the area, but the ball was taken from him, and that chance went away. As you see, nice pass by Yahya. Beautiful touch by Abdullahi, and you have Aziz cutting it right back to him, but he just couldn't finish, and that chance went away. Still 1-0 in favor of the Golden Eagles, though, until this moment. Across into the area, Usman Kamara gets his head on it, and Wu Drago gets the finishing touch, and that made the score. Golden Eagles of Nigeria 1. Burkina Faso 1. As you see, the goalkeeper had the opportunity to get his hands on the ball, but he just missed it right there. The player put his head at risk and ended up getting rewarded with the equalizing goal. Next, the Golden Eagles play a nice ball over the top. Abdullahi tries to get on the end of it, but the goalkeeper made the stop right there without using his gloves. Nice save with his midsection. As you see, tried to get it over him, but the goalkeeper was right on the spot. Nice save right there. Next, you have a foul against Burkina Faso in their half. Jabril Aziz is brought down, and taking it is that man himself, Emmanuel Michael. He takes the free kick, sends it right at the goalkeeper, who spills the ball. Abdullahi is right there to get the rebound and puts it into the back of the net and gives the Golden Eagles a 2-1 lead. Just a horrible mistake for the goalkeeper right there, but Abubakar Abdullahi was not complaining. Next, you have a beautiful turn and pass from Basil Mbata. Nice pass, finding Abubakar Abdullahi. One-time shot. Goalkeeper saves it, and the score still remains 2-1 in favor of the Golden Eagles. As you see right here, just a delectable pass, elegant pass. The first time shot with the left by Abdullahi. Goalkeeper saves it. Next, you have a free kick for Burkina Faso. The ball swung all the way to the other side. Aruna Ouattara gets the ball, makes a cross back into the area, although touches the first time, and the second shot is saved by the goalkeeper. A real opportunity for Burkina Faso. Ouattara with a nice cross right there. The goalkeeper pushes it away and pushes it to the opponent, and the shot is taken. He makes the save. Nice one right there. Really saved the day, Richard Odo, the goalkeeper. And that kept the score at 2-1 in favor of the Golden Eagles. And we move. Next, we have another beautiful pass by Basil Mbata. This time again, he finds Abubakar Abdullahi. He swings the shot, but it goes just wide off target. As you see, one touch right there, and the pass, oh my goodness, what a beautiful pass. Again, a one-time shot by Abdullahi, but this time it goes wide off target. And this time again, Mbata with a nice pass finds Ebube Akere, who takes the shot, and it goes all the way crashing into the crossbar. That should have been a goal right there. As you see, the goalkeeper pushes the ball away. Mbata with a first-time pass to Akere. He takes the shot, beats the goalkeeper, who's just watching Netflix right there. The ball just crashes and misses. And another opportunity, this time for Burkina Faso, but we have the defense right there stepping up, and this time Miracle Ogwa cuts in and clears the ball out. Again, Burkina Faso with a ball in the box, and this was a great opportunity. Ball shot across goal by Abubakar Kamara, and that was just waiting for somebody to touch it, but nobody could.
Another wonderful morning to you, sport fans, and welcome to Sports. Yes, the Saturday sports segment on Saturday morning straight. I'm Momo Tayo, debut, and welcoming you on board. It's a big congratulations to the under-17 Golden Eaglet for winning the Wafu B tournament. Yes, and of course they've qualified to represent Wafu B zone at the forthcoming African Cup of Nations that will be coming up next year. Yes, with this Wafu B tournament serves as a qualifiers for the AFCON 2023 under-17. And yes, a big congratulations to Coach Ogbade's men yesterday. It was a keenly contested game, and yes, the Golden England eventually emerged champions. They eventually emerged champions of this Wafu B 2022 Zone B tournament after beating Burkina Faso 2-1 in that encounter. We have the highlighter from our studio, and yeah, it was a 2-1 win for the Golden Eaglet of Nigeria. yesterday, and of course a brace from Abdullah Idris in that encounter secured the win and the trophy for the Golden Eaglet as far as this year's competition is concerned. And just like the Flying Eagles, the Golden Eaglet are champions of the WAFU B Zone B tournament. We have the highlight of the WAFU B tournament from Studio Ends here, and of course you'll be able to enjoy them this morning. You've been seeing some of the highlights as far as this competition is concerned. The first goal and of course the equalizer. And yes, the win against Burkina Faso, yes, was also Coach Ugbade's led side first consecutive win of the competition. That is, they did not drop any sets. Yes, that was their fourth consecutive win as far as this competition is concerned. Yes, it raised open the scoring in the 23rd minute as a leaped to add in a delightful cross from Emmanuel Michael, and of course with 4 minutes left in the first half, Krura Gogo equalized for Burkina Faso after he headed in a cross, and but in the 48th minute Idris grab his second goal in the to put Eagles 2-1 up, a free kick from Michael Emmanuel. So Burkina Babes keeper dropped the ball before Idris slotted in the ball for a rebound. And yes, both finalists would represent WAFU B Zone at the 2023 Under-17 tournament in Algeria. And in the third place match played earlier yesterday, Ghana defeated Cote d'Ivoire 3-2 to end the campaign on a high note. And yes, still with the Golden Eaglets this morning. Yes, still talking about the Golden Eaglets. Sunday Dare, who happens to be the sport minister, yes, the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare will host the WAFU B Under-17 champions at the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria to a grand reception in Abuja next week. And the minister organized a similar reception for the Under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, when they won the WAFU B Under-20 tournament in Niger Republic last month. And Dare saluted Golden Eaglets for a dominant performance all through the regional competition, with the team performing and producing the man of the match winner in every game. And yes, he also praised the coach and thanked the Nigerian Football Federation for providing a conducive environment for the team and to work without interference. And he urged the team to work and prepare harder for the Under-17 AFCON scheduled to hold in Algeria next year, where tickets to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup will be at stake. Yes, a big congratulations to them, and of course we wish them all the best. And from there, let's talk about the female counterpart. Talking about the Flamingos, we just talked about the female Under-17. Let's talk about the women category. Talking about the Under-17 women, the Flamingos. Yes, right on point. Yes, Flamingos have seen and known their group as far as this year's women Under-17 World Cup is concerned in India. Yes, we have some of the highlights, and like you rightly see right now, Nigerian Flamingos, yes, have been drawn in Group B. They've been drawn alongside Germany, New Zealand, and Chile ahead of the 2022 FIFA Under-17 World Cup that will be coming up in India. Yes, and the official draw took place. On Friday yesterday at FIFA's headquarters in Zurich, in Switzerland. And prior to the commencement of the draw, the Flamingos were placed in the pot 3 with United States of America, China, and France, while Germany was in pot 1. And it is a return to the age grade competition for the Flamingos after failing to qualify for the 2018 World Cup in Uruguay. And yes, Africans other representative going to India Morocco and Tanzania, and of course they are in Group A and Group D respectively. And the Moroccan will battle host India, yes, United States of America and Brazil, while Tanzania will face Japan, Canada, and France in that particular group. Group C has Spain, who has won the title in 2018, Colombia, Mexico, and China. While this year's tournament, which will be the seventh since its inception in 2008, will run from 11th to 30th October in 3 India cities: Magro, Naive, Mumbai, Mumbai, and of course one other city, talking about Bhubaneswar, yes, and of course India would be hosted, would have hosted the 2020 edition before it was cancelled due to COVID-19, and of course it will be the second time the India will host a FIFA tournament after after the men's 2017 FIFA Under-17 World Cup, and the first time that India hosts a FIFA women's football tournament So from Group A, we have India, USA, Morocco, and Brazil. Group B consists of Germany, Nigeria, Chile, and New Zealand. Group C consists of Spain, Colombia, Mexico, and China, while Group D has Japan, Tanzania, Canada, and France in their ranks. And from there, this morning, let's quickly talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Talking about the Super Falcons this time around. Super Falcons coach Randy Wadron has picked his 23-woman squad that would represent, 23-woman squad that will represent Nigeria as far as this year's competition is concerned in the Women's African Cup of Nations that will be coming up in Morocco. And that's the captain of the side, Asisat Oshuala. Yes, Asisat Oshuala on your screen at the moment, talking about the preparedness of the team for this year. The girls are in spirit, they are high spirits as we speak. They want to go for the 10. Remember that the Super Falcons are the most successful, most successful of every African tournament as far as the women's African tournament is concerned. Of course, that's as the training section held by the Super Falcons. Of course, and let's quickly let you know that apart from the fact that Super Falcons are the most successful, they've won this competition 9 solid times, and of course they will be going for their 10th win as far as Morocco is concerned. In 1998, Nigeria won their first Women's African Cup of Nations. That time, Nigeria won 2-1, defeating Ghana in that encounter. They defeated South Africa in 2000, 2-0 in that encounter, of course, and in 2002 they won it again. They won it again in 2004, winning it for 4 times consecutively. They won again in 2006, making the 5th time the Super Falcons will be winning the Women's African Cup of Nations. In 2008, Equatorial Guinea won the Women's African Cup of Nations, defeating South Africa. And in 2010, Nigeria won again. Let's see the highlight of these players as far as the training section is concerned. In 2010, with the Super Falcons won it again in 2010. And in 2012, they won. Equatorial Guinea won against South Africa again. And in 2014, Super Falcons won. 2016, Super Falcons won, and 2018 the Super Falcons won. 2022 this time around, who is it going to win? Is it going to be the Bayanas of South Africa? They've been to this competition to the finals of this competition 4 times without winning. They've been promised that they will be rewarded handsomely if they can dethrone the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Will they be able to dethrone the Super Falcons of Nigeria? Only time will tell when the fiesta starts on the 4th day of July in Morocco. And like I said, the Super Falcons coach has unveiled the 25-woman squad for the African Cup of Nations this time around. And of course, top on the list, released by Wadron, Asisat Oshuala, Onome Ebi, Ashley Pombre, Francisca Odega, we have Chiamaka Nandoze, Oshinachi Wale, and Rashidat Ajibade. Also on the list, Alimata Ayinde, Gift Monday, Tochuku Olui, and We have Ngozi Okobi and Tony Pan and Rita Chukwelu, among others. And let's give you the full list of players that have been invited. And these are some of the top names on the list of players that have been invited. And yes, the Super Falcons are in Group C. They will play against South Africa. They will play against Botswana and Burundi. And yes, they kick off this tournament. They will kick off the tournament against South Africa, who they last beat in 2018 in the 2018 edition. Of course, like I said, the Super Falcons are gunning for a record 10th title in Africa. From the goalkeeping department, we have 3 goalkeepers. We have Chiamaka Undozie, we have Tochukwu Olui, and Yewande Balogun. Yes, from United States of America. From the defenders, we have Onome Ebi, we have Glory Odona, we have Ochinachi Owale, we have Ashley Pompe, Nico Pan, Mitchell Alozie, and Akudo Odona. These are some of the players. And Akudo Odona plays his trade for Edo Queens. And yes, from the midfielders department, we have Ngozi Okobi, we have Peace Effie, we have Tony Pan, we have Alimat Anyide, Christy Uchebe, we have Regina Otu, Rashidat Ajibade, and Rita Chukwelu. And those are some of the midfielders that have been selected by Coach Randy Wardon. We have for the forward, Francisca Odegas, who plays a trade with CSK Moscow in Russia. Vivian Ikechukwu, who plays for WFC in Gintra, Lithuania. While Chinyereme McLean plays in Poland. We have Ifeoma Onumonu, who plays a trade at Gotham FC, United States of America. Uchenna Carlo, Tigress Feminine in Mexico. Assisat Oshuala, Barcelona Family, and in Spain. And Gift Monday, who plays a trade with Bayesa Queens. Yes, who plays a trade with Bayesa Queens. And of course, a big one, yes, huge one for the Super Falcons. If you ask me, like Assisat Oshuala rightly said, it will be a big challenge. It will be a big challenge for the Super Falcons, but they are ready to conquer Africa this time around again. Know fully well that these will serve as qualifiers for the World Cup, Women's World Cup. As well, from there, we have a whole lot of stories from the home front this morning. And yes, talking about the beach soccer African qualifiers, the beach African qualifiers soccer. We have the Super Sand Eagles. Super Sand Eagles of Nigeria will take on Libya in the qualifiers for the 2022 beach soccer AFCON. Yes, beach soccer AFCON build for Mozambique and October this year. And yes, we understand that the draw for the 2022 beach soccer AFCON qualifiers was conducted yesterday in Mozambique, and that's Maputo, Mozambique. And Sand Eagles are among 14 teams that will take part in the qualifying phase, and 7 qualified teams will join 2021 runner-up Mozambique, who qualifies automatically as host. And in other qualifiers, Senegal will battle Cameroon, Ghana will face Egypt, Ivory Coast will play against Morocco, will square up. Yes, Egypt will face Ghana will face Egypt, and Cote d'Ivoire and Morocco will square up against Malawi, and Tanzania will face they will face each other. And the first leg of the qualifier will hold between 22nd, 23rd, and 24th July, while the second leg will host between 5th, 6th, and 7th of August. And this year's tournament will be held on the 21st to 30th. Yes, 21st to 30th of October. And here, Senegal are the most successful nation, having won the beach soccer African Cup of Nations 6 times, and also the current champion in terms of success in qualifying for the World Cup. Again, Senegal are the most outstanding nations, having qualified in 8 out of 10 attempts. Nigeria followed closer behind with 6 qualifications. Mozambique had its debut in 2021 beach soccer World Cup. And of course, only 4 countries have won the beach soccer AFCON. The countries are Senegal, who has won its 6 titles, and Nigeria, who won 2 titles. Cameroon won 1 title, and Madagascar just a title in that encounter. And the Beach Soccer African Cup of Nations established in 2006, when FIFA made it a requirement for all confederations to begin holding qualification tournament to determine the best national team in their region, and hence those who would proceed to represent their continent in the upcoming World Cup previously were simply invited to play without having to earn a place. And FIFA currently allocates two slot belt at the World Cup, and hence to enter the top two teams, that's the winner and the runner-up, qualified for the World Cup. And for the full draw, we have Seychelles against Madagascar, we have Comoros against Uganda, Malawi against Tanzania, Libya against Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire against Morocco, while Cameroon plays against Senegal, and Ghana against Egypt. Ghana will square up against Egypt. From there, let's quickly talk about athletics this time around and move to the tracks before we travel to Europe this morning, where we understand that Arsenal are currently doing business. We understand that reigning African Games and African Athletics champion, shot put champion, talking about Chukwuebuka Enokweche, set a new 21.25 meters personal season best at the 2022 Nigerian Athletics Championship in Benin City to successfully defend the shot put title. A first one last year. The mark is an improvement on the 21.20 meter season's best, which he set earlier this month at the 22nd African Athletics Championship in Mauritius to successfully defend the shot put title he won in 2018. And of course, Enekwechi is among the athletes who have booked automatic ticket to Oregon World Athletics Championship, and is now have now successfully confirmed his place with a successful defense of the national shot put title. And African Games record holder will be hoping to make history in Oregon, as the first Nigerian to make the podium in that event. And of course, he will be also hoping to return turn the silver medal he won 4 years ago into Gold Coast, Australia, to gold in Birmingham and United Kingdom when the Commonwealth Games starts immediately after the World Athletics Championship in Oregon. And from there, having done justice to all stories we have from the home front this morning, let's fly to Europe this morning, where we understand, we understand that Calvin Phillips, Calvin Phillips have agreed in a deal to join, Manchester City. Talking about Calvin Phillips this time around, Manchester City have agreed a deal that would see Leeds midfielder, talking about an England midfielder, talking about Calvin Phillips for a fee of a region of 45 million pounds to 50 million pounds. And the England international is moving closer to leaving his boyhood club, where he came through the academy and flourished under former boss Marcelo Bielsa. And the deal has yet to be officially completed, as Phillips still needs to agree personal terms and pass medical, and according to reports that we have, out of loyalty to Leeds, the club. The only club he would have joined was Manchester City, and he has turned down approach from other clubs. And of course, the 26-year-old will look to fill the void left by Venadio at Manchester City, who revealed he will be leaving the club this summer after 9 years with the club. And of course, if you'd ask me, it's a good one for Calvin Phillips joining the Premier League champions. And from there, let's travel to North London this time around, where we understand that Gabriel Jesus is on the verge. Gabriel Jesus this time around is on the verge of joining. Gabriel Jesus is on the verge of joining Arsenal. Is on the verge of joining Arsenal. And Arsenal have reached an agreement in principle, with Manchester City to sign Gabriel Jesus. There is still work to do to finalize the deal, including medical and personal terms, but the fee is understood to be around 45 million pounds for Gabriel Jesus. And Arsenal is also expected to go back in an improved bid for Leeds United forward one talking about Rafinha. And yes, the North London club put in nearly 6 months of work with Gabriel Jesus, representative, and Marcelo Pinati to ensure they were in pole position to recruit him from the Premier League champion this summer. And Jesus indicated his desire, yes, he has indicated his desire, yes, to join Emirates, yes, to move to Emirates Stadium, as the start of June. And the only hindrance so far has been the distance between the valuation of both clubs. And at the moment, Jesus wants to reunite with Mikel Arteta, who would regularly offer individual coaching and advice when serving as assistant to Pep Guardiola. And Arsenal's strength of pursuit, the fact that they are desperately in need of an attacker in their module, and the opportunity for Jesus to assume more responsibility appeals. And Arteta is without a senior striker after the expiry of Alexandre Lacazette's contract and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang exit to Barcelona. And yes, it's a good one for him, if you'd ask me, and I would see how things pans out in that encounter. And from there, we move on this morning to Newcastle. Newcastle are the new oil in England as far as England is concerned, with the Saudi money, the so-called Saudi money. We understand that Newcastle have reached an agreement with Steven Botsman from Lille, and of course Newcastle have agreed a deal with Lille for the Netherlands under 21 defender Steve Botsman. And Eddie Owe's side tried to sign the 22 years in January and face a competition from AC Milan, leading the centre back for a fee believed to be about £30 million. Means always has recruited right across his defense since taking charge last November. And yes, in January he signed England's fullback Kieran Trippier and Brighton centre back Dan Burn, left back Matt Targett also arrived on loan from Aston Villa, who has subsequently moved permanently. And England goalkeeper Nick Pope joined the Newcastle earlier this week. And yes, it would be recalled that a Saudi Arabian-backed takeover of Max Payne in October 2021 make them one of the richest clubs as far as the world is concerned. This yes. And from there, let's quickly talk about one man before we head towards tennis. Yes, we understand that Wayne Rooney has left his job as the coach of Derby. And yes, Wayne Rooney has quit as a Derby County manager, admitting the club needs someone with fresh energy to lead them in what is an uncertain period regarding the ownership. And Derby remains in administration after a prolonged period of uncertainty that has seen the club relegated to Sky Bet League One. Rooney received plenty of plaudits for the work done with the club in their battle to avoid the drop, and it had not been for the 12-point deduction for entering administration, yes, which was followed by a 9-point penalty for breaching EFL accounting rules. The Rams would have finished 18th level with Bristol on 55 points. Instead, despite the tours, a team filled with brims with younger players, largely with little to no EFL experience, punishment for issues of the pitch proved too much a stumbling block for them. And yes, well, we wish him all the best in his pursuit for administration. Finally, this morning, let's wrap up with a story from the tennis, as we understand that the draw for the Wimbledon is on, and it has been done, yes, as Andre Murray, British world number one, talking about Emma Raducanu, has been drawn against Belgium Alcine van Oostertijk in the Wimbledon first round. And yes, the 19-year-old who is seated 10th practice at the All England, at the All England, Allison, at the All England club on Friday, but missed a second section plan later at Q1. Yes, from there, Serena, two-time champions, Andy Murray, who is trying to overcome abdominal injury, faces Australia Jack Duckworth, and Serena Williams starts a return to singles action after a year out of the French debutant to French debutant Amonitan, and of course top seed Iga Swiatek plays against Croatia qualifier Jana Fret as she aims to continue her dominance in the WTA. Yes. While we understand that Dan Karkovic in the second seat, in the Poland under-21, who is Swiatek, is aiming for a 36th straight win and could face a British white card. Talking about Sonny Cartel, who start against Danka Conversation in the second round. And Tunisia Ons Jabbar, who plays with Wimbledon in the East, and who plays Swedish qualifier Miraj Boklund. And Romania 16 seed Simonina Alep, who is not played at Wimbledon since winning the 2019 years, would play against Karolina Muchova. And we wish all these men all the best in the first round as far as the this year's competition is concerned. Yes, in the men's category, Kanonori plays against Pablo and Judah, and of course we have Novak Djokovic also playing in the first round of this competition. We need to wrap up now. Of course, we hope for you that you enjoy the rest of the segment on Saturday morning treat. Omotayo Adebodun is my name, and of course, until next week again, where we'll come your way with more sporting information. So I say, don't stop loving sport and enjoy the rest of the Saturday morning treat. Good morning.
When you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe
taken by Usman Kamara, gets it over the wall and forces goalkeeper Richard Odo into a fine save, and that keeps the score at 0-0 right there. A beautiful save by the goalkeeper. Take nothing away from the free kick. It was actually a nice one. Tried to get it at the top corner, but the goalkeeper said no on that note. And you have Ebubere Kere getting it to Abubakar Abdullahi. He plays the ball wide. Nice pass by Kere. But Abdullahi just could not find the target. Score still 0-0. And this is a beautiful pass by Basil Mbata, finding Emmanuel Michael. He tries to get it past the goalkeeper at his near post, but the goalkeeper makes the save. Beautiful pass over the top. Gets it to Emmanuel, and he just tries to put it past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper stopped that right there. And here we have Burkina Faso on the ball. Usman Kamara again with a strike at goal. This time a routine save for Richard Odo. As you see, gets past his defender. The only one thing on his mind was to smack the ball, but he just didn't catch it right enough. Next, we have the Golden Eagles on the ball. Emmanuel Michael with a delectable pass. Abubakar Abdullahi on the end of it. Gets his head on the ball, and that's the first goal of the game. Mbata gets the ball to Emmanuel Michael.
You are welcome back. If you just joined us, it is still the Saturday morning treat. Thank you, Omotayo Adebodun, for the SMT Sports there. Yes, we'll quickly take a look at the stories on the front page of the Saturday Tribune. Yes, I have the hard copy of the Saturday Tribune with me. So let me quickly read out the headlines here. We have refusal to use winners of primaries. APC has no candidates in 3 senatorial districts. INEC explains why it rejected Lawan, Akpabio, Umahi. And here's a story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Saturday Tribune. Yes, we have other stories as well. Above the masthead, tomorrow is Operation Show Your PVC Day. PFN tells Christians. Gunmen kill 2 policemen. Varsity lecturer, 2 others in Benue are still on the front page of the Saturday Tribune. Terrorists bomb another police station in Kogi. Kill officer. Supreme Court crisis opens cans of worms in federal state judiciary. House states deceive NJC with rented cars, houses. Apex Court dismisses Buhari's suits on Electoral Act. And we also have another story. Terrorism. Southwest states beef up security around churches, mosques. Police, Amoteco put operatives on alert. Yes, let's quickly take a look at the inside pages and briefly read some of the stories. The story on Operation Show Your PVC on page 8, and it said, President of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Wale Oke, has declared June 26 as a permanent voters card Sunday as part of efforts to mandate Christians to fully participate in the 2023 general election. Oke made this declaration at the PFN Secretariat during a National Executive Council meeting held in Lagos, while addressing the press, urging Christians to ensure they get their permanent voters card and follow the clear directive in collaboration with the Christian Association of Nigeria from the Christian Fathers on the casting of votes. Yes, that story is on page 8 of the Saturday Tribune. Yes, we have other stories as well on page 6. Refusal to use winners of primaries. APC has no candidates in 3 senatorial districts. For submitting to the Independent National Electoral Commission's names of persons who did not go through primaries, the All Progressives Congress National Working Committee, led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu, may have made the party not to have candidates in some constituencies. The INEC released names of candidates on Friday without putting a candidate for the APC Yobe North Senatorial District. The names of the governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, Ebonyi South Senatorial District, and the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Okwabio, Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, were also missing from the list. The 3 did not participate in the senatorial primaries. They had contested the presidential primary of the party and failed to win the top ticket. Bashiru Machina, who won the party's primary for Yobe North Senatorial District, was not on the list, just as Senate President Ahmed Lawan's name, which was submitted to INEC, was missing from the list too. INEC's National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Mr. Festus Okoye, in a chart said the commission did not publish any candidate for the APC for that district because it did not receive the name of the person validly elected at the party's primaries. Yes, this is how far we go on this segment of Newspapers Review this morning. It's now time for our first guest platform. Please stay tuned. Yes, you are welcome back to the Saturday Morning Treat. This is our guest platform, and we have our first guest in the house. We did inform you earlier that we'll be taking a look at INEC preparation for Russia 2022 governorship election. The election is just around the corner, and a lot of activities have gone underground to ensure that everything goes on smoothly as planned. Yes?
Yeah.
Who's our guest?
Our guest on the topic today is Alhaji Shehu Mohammed, HOD Election and Party Monitoring, INEC, Osun State. Alhaji, you are welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, before we take him on, let's quickly listen to the Osun Resident Electoral Commissioner there as he speaks on the PVC. Please, let's have the clip.
The commission, having seen the rate at which people came out for the collection of the PVCs, has gratefully approved that we move the collection to the wards. And so we are moving there on the 22nd of June, that is Wednesday. And that will be for just 5 days until Sunday, Saturday and Sunday inclusive. To enable people get their PVCs at places very close to their residences. So I want to appeal to everybody to please come out. They should go to the wards where they registered and collect their permanent voter card. This is not only applicable to those who have just registered, it's applicable to everybody who have registered since 2011 till date. All the PVCs will be at the wards for 5 days, starting from Wednesday till Sunday this week.
Yes, you have heard that. Alhaji Shehu Mohammed.
Yes, ma'am.
The PVC collection in the world's registration centers have been on since Wednesday. And according to the Osun, it was due to the fact that a lot of people are yet to collect their PVC. Now they want to make it easier, want to make access easier for the people, and you've taken it to the world. So far, so good. How has the response been?
Thank you very much. The response has been so impressive. So concerning the report we had, and then the head of department, we asked the head of department, and then the administrative officer, administrative secretary, and then the rec. We have been going around all the local government to see the situation on the ground. We had the need be for us to adjust and some other issues, so that in identification on the spot, we have done that. The response has been so impressive, and then we are still on top of the situation. Wherever there is crisis, like certain local government, we have been trying at least to ameliorate whatever situation on the ground, so that the distribution or we call it collection of PVC will be each free in all those local governments. So at the end of the day, we believe every eligible voters in the Osun will have their permanent voters card, and they will be able to exercise their franchise until the day of the election.
But it is expected that people should have collected their PVC even before now. Why did it take you, an extra effort to sensitize people? What is responsible for a kind of apathy on the part of the people?
I cannot say precisely. You know, it's the issue of PVC production. It's a process. We have a timeline for continuous voter registration exercise, and then we have a period for display, for claims and objection. So after the completion of this whole exercise, the PVC, the system will be uploaded for production of permanent voters card. We have just received the delivery of the permanent voters card. That's the more reason we now embark on distribution. Initially, we have been doing the distribution at the local government level. That is the 30 local government there across the Osun State. So in view of the pressure and then the need to satisfy people with more, we have now decided to move it to all the 332 wards. That is the area in the local government, just to allow people to access it without traveling far, and then to make it conducive, and then to decongest our local government areas. You know, the people who are mobilized, people travel from far and near to get themselves registered. You know, there is no way you can have them on ground at the same time. And then a few of the fact that we'll be having a governorship election on 16th July. So people are willing to be actively involved in the exercise. I think they need to account for people now, the rush to have their permanent voter card so that they can have they can exercise their franchise because of the coming governorship election.
Okay, now talking about the upcoming governorship election, what are the preparations that INEC have put in place to ensure a credible, free and fair poll?
You see, I think we have been discussing it in different fora. INEC has done a lot. Part of this is what we are doing now. We are grateful for OSBC for giving us this privilege, at least to start and enlighten people on the state of preparedness of the commission. We have engaged in a series of enlightenment, advocacy, and then we have met with the different people like the community leaders, CBO, the faith-based organization. We have met with the traditional rulers. And then, most importantly, we have the access meeting, that is Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. So we have been able to identify the flashpoint, right? And then the area that of difficult terrain, and then we'll be able to resolve that, so that in the coming election, there will not be any problem. You see, we have taken delivery of most of our sensitive materials, and then we have distributed it to all the 30 local governments. And then the batching has been done at the local government area. We have visited all our rack center just for the campaign. And then we have visited all the location, the collation center, just to make it habitable and conducive for the election on that very day. We have done a series of things. As you can see now, we have taken, of recent, we have given the soft copy of the registered voter of all the registered in the Osun State to all the political parties. Presently, the printing is all going, almost completed. And then you can see now we are on with the collection of PVC at the different RA level, so many other things. We are still on, the process is still ongoing. That we have our IFED now, that is the beavers that will be deployed for the purpose of the election. We have every required material on ground now, with the exception of the sensitive material, which that will not be available until 48 hours to the election. But virtually now, we are almost ready and battle ready, 95% ready for the election. And then we are appealing to everybody to support us in this project. The election project is not for INEC alone. It involves all major stakeholders. So we are appealing to them to support us so that at the end of the day, we have each free, fair, and credible election in Osun State.
Now, they're still on preparation for the election. Now, there are a lot of stakeholders involved in this election. We have the security agents, we have the civil society organizations, we have the pressmen, and a lot more. Now, what kind of cooperation exists between your organization or your body and all these stakeholders?
I think I can attest to that fact that the relationship of the commission with all our major stakeholders can be regarded as very cordial. I think of recent, the media outfit, I think Koki Associate organized a media, a kind of interactive session, which we are delighted that INEC was invited to that, and then basically for us to at a mass analyze the situation of things where we are and then what we have done so far, what we are doing, and then what we are going to do in the course of the election. The access I have told you now, the relationship is so cordial. We have been having a series of meetings, and then we enjoy a very tremendous support from the Commissioner of Police, the Army, and all other security outfits. And then we have a collaboration with IE, EFCC, and ICPC, even on this issue of this the fraud related to electoral the election process. So I can assure you, we have a very cordial relationship with every member, every stakeholder. And then the political party, as HOD, election and party monitoring, we have been interfacing. And then we have a platform which we interact on a daily basis. So for any question, any gray area they need explanation, we are being contacted, and then we give this explanation to that effect. So every major, so the CSO, I think of recent we had a meeting with CSO, and then that will be on Tuesday again. We are having a meeting with the observers, right, at one electoral, I think the first center So you can see that we are having a kind of robust relationship with all our major stakeholders in order to ensure free, fair, and credible election come 16 July.
All right, thank you very much. Now, in actually ensuring free, fair, credible election, the election must be peaceful. And if you move around the town, you discover that the posters of politicians are being turned anyhow. Then there are some there are reports, media reports that some INEC officials were attacked or those collecting PVC in some parts of the state. Aren't these red flags that should get you worried that there are people that are actually trying to prevent the election from being peaceful? What is the commission doing about that?
I think the commission is worried about that. But all we are advocating for, preaching for is peace.
Yeah.
And then there's this slogan, election no be war. It's just a way of electing our representative, our leaders. Right? I think we are seeing, in that regard, we need to strategize. You know, the security are involved in this, and all these flashpoints. Okay, they are gathering intelligence regard to that, and the people that are involved. The bottom line is that the advocacy, education of our people. Right? The issue of election should not be taken as a war. Should not be taken as a war. People should be educated on the issue of free and fair and credible election. Right? All our security, all our community leaders, I think they should educate their subjects on a peaceful conduct. There is no way a violent situation can do us any good. What we did is free, and free, in order for us to exercise our duty as a electoral body, for us to ensure free, fair, and credible election.
Karen, let me ask this. Now, most of these people from any trouble are either supporting one political party or the other. Have you met with these stakeholders, these politicians, to actually tell them to calm their supporters from committing trouble?
I think it's one of the major issues we discussed in the course of the last meeting I had with them, the training on the financial campaign finance tracking. And then we did emphasize the issue. You know, before this time around, our experience in 2018, we review it and then we preview into 2022 election. Most of some issue we observed in those days, in the period of campaign as was this turning of their posters and some other things. And then we did advise them, right? Even where they should not be pasted, the poster should not be pasted, like the job premises. We do advise them on what to do and not what to do. You know, concerned human being, we told them, look, every day in one of the fora, the National Commissioner made that a joke. That if you are tired, if you don't have trust in either of the party, you can make me your governor. Will you be happy? Anybody that is elected as governor at the end of the day is a native and indigene of Osun State. I think we should all rally around him. What we should be after is development. We should be after development. The issue of violence doesn't do anybody any good. We have educated them on several, and then we do have the stakeholder meeting we do have of all the biggest stakeholders, which involve the police. The police charge them that, emphasize the issue of peace. That, for also engaging, that's the more reason I do emphasize in some other. It is only in this part of the world you see police carry gun in the day of election. In the civilized world, you hardly see police carrying gun. It's a civic responsibility where you go out and freely exercise your right as a citizen to elect your representative. I think we still need to do more advocacy, and then it's not the responsibility of INEC alone. It's a collective responsibility of every member of the stakeholders to educate the people, and then most importantly, there are certain areas. That's what we said. We have identified the flashpoint. In the day of the election, we have some armed security within that area. So, and then we have there's something we call election management support system, where people can call during the election. That situation can be promptly attended to. So we have those numbers that will be given out. So if there's any destruction of the process, the police, the army can be called so that immediately they move in to arrest the situation.
Now, still on aside from the issue of violence, thuggery, another area of importance is the utterances of the politicians. in this regard, what are you doing in this regard? Because these utterances, if you, at a time like this, the airwaves is always inundated with vile languages, which are capable of instigating people into violence. What are you doing to, checkmate the political actors in this regard?
You know, we are being guided by the Constitution and then the Electoral Act. We stipulated our function.
Okay.
Right? There is limit to the extent we can go.
Okay.
The only thing we can do is to sensitize them and advise them.
Okay.
In one of the fora, we did mention that their campaign should be issue-based.
Yeah.
Why do you have to engage in castigating other people? The use of foul language? Only I think under the law for a kind of foul, the slogans, how do I call foul slogan? It has a penalty if that is being established. I think for a contestant, it's 1 million.
Okay.
And then for a party, it's 2 million. So there is a law, if that is being established, that a political party employ the use of foul language, they might properly ignite violence. So I think there is a law to that effect. Okay. So if found guilty, the court will pronounce the appropriate sanction to that regard. Okay. But the most important thing is sensitization. Okay. We should go beyond the use of foul language. Let our campaign be issue-based. What and what do you intend to do for the people to better their lot and accelerate development in the state?
Okay. If actually there is a law against all this foul play, is the INEC the one in charge of seeing to the implementation of this law, or who?
No, the law is there for people to exploit. When you have a law that backs certain issues, that regulates certain conduct, the moment you feel injured, your right is being infringed upon, you take it upon yourself, you proceed to the court, and then the court will pronounce.
Okay, you mean the affected person?
The affected person can go to court.
All right, now still talking about law. This goodbye election in Osun State is going to be based on the new electoral act. Right. Now, what are the new things that people should expect? Things that, innovations that have not been used before, so that it will not just come as a surprise to many. What are, just quickly explain them to us.
Thank you very much. I think we have been explaining this, and then the most important one we are deploying is the use of the beavers.
Okay.
It has been used in
the beavers. What is the beavers?
That is Biomoda voters accreditation system, right? And then we are using RF. That is INEC review for importers. Okay. Right. The Biomoda, you know, we have deployed this system in Anambra. We have used it in a FCT election, and then recently in Ekiti. Okay. And then we are going to make use of it in the Osun State here. You know, it has a dual advantage. Apart from the biometric that we used to, the card reader is noted for, this one also advantage of facial identification. If your fingerprint doesn't work, it's at the privilege of the facial identification. So the issue of beavers is sacrosanct in the election. So we have to deploy it, and then we are making use of it. The moment it doesn't pass for accreditation, no election. That's the more reason we have deployed that process, that if your fingerprint fail, the system for you to read your fingerprint, your facial identification is there. So, and then we are making use of the RF. So it's online. The moment the election is completed in a particular polling unit, the scanning of the result will be done and sent on our portal. That is inecnigeria.ng. So the RF online, the moment the result is being sent, you can view it anywhere. So that gives the electorate, the politician, everybody to have at least, you know, the likely outcome of the election, even before the announcement of the INEC. Only the INEC has the authority to announce the final result, but you have an insight into what the likely outcome might be.
All right, and you get the results immediately. You said once you vote,
we are still making use of Form EC8A. That is the election result. Okay. So immediately the collation of that result is something I can't, you know, it's a process. Immediately that result is being signed, it will be scanned using the iFed, and then it will be transmitted to INEC review portal.
So what about the incident form? Will they still be used?
There's something like incident form.
Again.
There's something like incident form.
Okay. Now, you know, there are various segments of people in the society who are required to participate in the election. I want to talk about the people with disabilities. What measures have we put in place to ensure that these people are not disenfranchised?
Due to, with our inclusivity in the nature of the electoral process, we have been at least taking a very cognizant look at the way we can assist the people with disability. First and foremost, of recent, in the 2021, we did the conversion of our voting point into polling unit, right? And then we did quite relocation of our PU from area that we felt it was not accessible for people with disability, with disability, that were not accessible to them, that the people that were challenged, we now relocated those areas to the suitable areas that we ameliorate their difficulties in accessing the polling units. And then we did we have deployed many assistive aids. The bed leaf, the magnifying glass, in order to assist them to be able to identify their choice. And then we are collaborating with them a lot. We are having series of meetings, series of advocacy, so that they will be able to to ventilate their grievances, and then we know area to assist them. So we have deployed several several aids in order to assist them in exercising their franchise.
Okay, thank you very much. Apart from the PWDs now, what about other vulnerable groups such as the aged and the pregnant women? Do you have any special programs?
I think that is part of the electoral guidelines.
Okay.
We are giving them special attention, and then we do educate our INEC officials, the people that should be given special attention. Apart from the people with disability, the aged people, the pregnant women, even the nursing mother. I think I'm happy to say we are in a state of Osun State, Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọmọlúàbí. That ethos should reflect in our character. And then Yoruba, being what we are noted for, respect for elders. So we do emphasize that. If you see this category of people, please allow them to exercise their franchise. Allow them space so that we have that sense of belonging. There is no way you can ask people that doesn't have how do I call it, leg challenges to be struggling with the able body. So it is imperative that we should give them that special attention for them to exercise their rights and live.
Thank you.
And that's the more reason again we are emphasizing the issue of violence-free election. It's resulted into apathy. The moment there's a violence in any electoral process, all this category of people, the aged, the women, the physical challenge won't be able to come out. And then it will reduce the participation. At the end of the day, you see a kind of fragment, about less than the required number of people electing the leaders for a whole a larger percentage.
All right, thank you very much. Ẹ̀yin wa tí ẹ bá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, orí ètò Saturday morning treat la wà. Níbi tí a ti ń bá àlejò wa sọ̀rọ̀ tó wá láti àjọ INEC, àwọn ni Alhaji Shehu Mohammed. Wọ́n ti ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ bí INEC ti ṣe gbéradì láti ṣe ètò ìdìbò gómìnà tó ń bọ̀ ní oṣù tó ń bọ̀ ní Ọ̀ṣun. Nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀, ṣàlàyé pé káàdì ìdìbò nípa ẹ̀ ti kó lọ sí àwọn wọ́ọ̀dù. Báwo ló ṣe lẹ ṣe ń bá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, a ní ìgbà tá a kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yẹn ṣeun olótùú àti olùdarí. Ọ́fíìsì wa la ti ń pín àwọn káàdì alálòpẹ́ ìtẹ́lẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ gbà tá a wá rí i pé ìpèníjà tí àwọn èèyàn ní ni pé èrò ń pọ̀, a lè máa dá wọn lóhùn. Ọ̀nà yẹn jìn fún àwọn òmíì láti lọ síbẹ̀ because olú local government wa la ti ń pín àwọn káàdì ní ìjọba INEC wa decide láti gba approval láti Àbújá pé ká kó wọn lọ sí ibùdó tá à ń pè ní Arwe ní ward tó jẹ́ 332 nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, so that ìyẹn ó reduce wàhálà àwọn èèyàn, yóò mú tún súnmọ́ àwọn èèyàn, yóò sì fún àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ní àǹfààní láti gba káàdì alálòpẹ́ yẹn. So a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ Wednesday la bẹ̀rẹ̀, a sì parí ní ọjọ́ Sunday tí ń jẹ́ ọ̀la. Báyìí ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ lọ báyìí, wọ́n wà ní gbogbo àwọn ibùdó yẹn tí wọ́n ń pín káàdì lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Kì í ṣe pé tá a bá parí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà pa ní rí gbà, á tún padà sí ọ́fíìsì láti àǹfààní wà fún èèyàn tí ò bá rí àǹfààní àti lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn gbà nígbà yẹn kó padà lọ sí ọ́fíìsì wa ló wà available fún láti gbà.
Bí àwọn àsìkò wo nìyàn lè lọ?
Láti aago 9 ni a ti ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní àárọ̀ so títí di aago 3 bẹ́ẹ̀ tí yẹn bá wà lórí ìlànà ní aago 3 yẹn a fún wọn láyè láti dá wọn yẹn ní lóhùn.
Kí ni àwọn ìgbáradì yín lórí ètò ìdìbò láti rí i pé ìdìbò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí ó lọ nírọ̀wọ́ ìrọ̀sẹ̀?
Ẹ ṣeun. Ara ìgbáradì wa ni kí ká máa bí mo sì fẹ́ sọ Yorùbá rẹ̀ ni kí ká play card wa face of transparency.
Ká ṣe bó ṣe yẹ
ká ṣe bó ṣe tọ́ bó ṣe yẹ ká ṣe pẹ̀lú òótọ́. Òun láti ń ṣe báyìí. A jẹ́ kí kálukú mọ̀ ní gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ stakeholders wa láti mọ ìbò la bá ṣẹ́ dé, ìbò la ń lọ, ìbò la dé. So gbogbo náà láti ń jọ ní àjọṣepọ̀, àjọ ní àfọ̀rọ̀yérọ̀ lórí gbogbo ibi tá a bá ṣẹ́ dé. Bí a ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yín nísìn, gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ ká lò tá à ń pè ní non-sensitive material ní àwọn nǹkan àlò wa gbogbo ẹ̀ láti gbà lọ́fíìsì wa. A sì ti pín sáwọn local government wa tó jẹ́ 30 yẹn. Àwọn náà yìí ṣètò bóyá kí wọ́n ti ṣe tá à ń pè ní batching, wọ́n ti ṣètò rẹ̀ tó fi ń dá wa lójú pé a ti wà 95% ready for that election. Kọ́lá mo ṣe fi ń dá mo ṣe ń jókòó yìí mo fi ń dá lójú pé àwọn tá a pè ní BVAS kan tá a dì for election gbogbo ẹ̀ láti gbà ó sì ti wà lọ́fíìsì àti ṣètò lórí ẹ̀.
Àwọn ìwé ni BVAS
òun là ń pè ní biomedical voter accreditation system.
Àwọn ẹ̀rọ
tá a máa fi ṣe àyẹ̀wò olùdìbò lọ́jọ́ election ẹ̀ ṣeun. So gbogbo ẹ̀ ni ló ti wà ní àrọ́wọ́tó wa báyìí. A yìí ti ń ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú kọ́lá àwọn onímọ́tò tí tá a lò fún transportation àwọn èèyàn wa gbogbo àlá tí ń bá sí pàdé, àwọn ọlọ́kadà ní gbogbo àlá tí ń bá sí pàdé so that kí wọ́n fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wa kí election kó lè lọ ní ìrọ̀wọ́ ìrọ̀sẹ̀.
Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ní ìsinyìí, ṣé ó ní àwọn nǹkan tuntun tí àwọn èèyàn tí ì máa rí nínú ètò ìdìbò tẹ́lẹ̀ tí ó lè wáyé kó kàn máa bá wọn ní òjijì?
Ara tí àwọn nǹkan tá a ṣe tún deploy tí àwọn ẹ̀rọ tá a máa lò fún election tó ń bọ̀ wáyé, ẹ rí i pé ní election tó kọjá lọ a ló ń tà ń pè ní card reader, èyí tá a máa lò nísìnyí òun là ń pè ní BVAS. Ẹ̀rọ tá a fi ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ náà ni a kàn tún wá fi àwọn ètò kan sínú ẹ̀ ni tí ó jẹ́ kó tún wúlò fún wa láti ṣe àyẹ̀wò àwọn olùdìbò lọ́jọ́ yẹn.
Irú àwọn ètò wo nìyẹn?
Òun náà là ń pè ní application là ń pè la fi sínú ìgbà tá à ń lò fún ìforúkọsílẹ̀ à ń pè ní AVED, INEC voter enrollment device. Òun the same machine náà la máa deploy for election là ń pè ní BVAS kó ó ní capacity láti ṣe accreditation system láti ṣàyẹ̀wò àwọn olùdìbò wa. So òun láti ṣe àyẹ̀wò olùdìbò ó sì ní capacity pé láti gba ìka wọn. Ẹni tí ìka rẹ̀ bá ní ìpèníjà tá a bá rí gbà fọ́tò ojú ẹ̀ láwò so gbogbo ẹ̀ sì ti wà nínú system wa. So ẹ̀rọ yìí náà yóò sì tún fún wa ní àǹfààní tá a bá parí ètò ìdìbò tá a bá ṣe sorting and counting tá a tẹ̀sí ṣe àkọsílẹ̀ result yẹn ẹ̀rọ yìí náà láǹfààní àti ya result yìí a wá send rẹ̀ síbi tá à ń pè ní portal wa so that gbogbo àwọn tó wà nílé àwọn olóṣèlú ní àbí any other person ní will have real access wọ́n á lè yẹ̀ wò wọ́n á máa tó kó tó di pé result yẹn gan dé ibi tá à ń pè ní collation center tí wọ́n ti kó jọ ẹnìyàn ti yà láti ibẹ̀ yẹn so wàhálà pé wáyà kankan ṣẹlẹ̀ lójú ọ̀nà yẹn kò sí ń bẹ̀ so ibi tó bá ti ya fọ́tò yẹn ó ti wà níbi atẹ́gùn tiwa àwọn tó bá fẹ́ wò àtúmọ̀ wò pé ní ibùdígbò báyìí o nǹkan báyìí ní ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́ja ní o nǹkan báyìí lẹ́gbẹ́ ẹlẹ́ran ní o so láì ṣe pé INEC gan tí kàgbò ó fún àwọn èèyàn wa láǹfààní nílé láti máa ṣe kíkà àti wọn pé ní ibùdó ìgbòdìgbò báyìí o akínní báyìí lání àní méjì yá àní mẹ́ta nígbà so tó bá ipá INEC bá gbé tiẹ̀ jáde wọn fẹ́ ó gbá ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí àìbẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́.
Àwùká tó lọ kí ni àdírẹ́sì ẹ̀rọ tí èèyàn wà lè fi wò yẹn ẹ pèsè ìdá fáwọn tó ń lọ wa.
Àdírẹ́sì tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi wò ó ní inecnigeria.ng.
Ẹ pè lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sí.
inecnigeria.ng.
Kó tó di pé a máa lọ, kí ni àjọṣepọ̀ tó wà láàrin àjọ yín àjọ elétò ìdìbò àti àwọn alábàápín nínú ètò ìdìbò gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ọlọ́pàá ni o àwọn agbófinró àwọn àjọ tí ó rọ̀gbọ̀kú léjọba?
Arípa àti sọ mi pé iṣẹ́ ètò ìdìbò pírójẹ́tì kan tó tóbi ni tí INEC nìkan ò lè dá ṣe. Òun la fi wá ní gbogbo àwọn lájọ yìí tí ó sì jẹ́ pé àjọṣe tí ń bẹ láàrin wa àjọṣe tó dùn ní tó dámọ̀ràn pẹ̀lú ọlọ́pàá ní àwọn NCDC ní road safety ní ICPC ní EFCC ní àwọn army air force gbogbo wọn là ń ṣèpàdé lóòrèkóòrè lọ́fíìsì wa. Àwọn NGO tẹ́lẹ̀ sọ yìí náà nísìnyí gbogbo wọn náà lálájọṣepọ̀ gbogbo wọn ti rẹ́jísà níbi pọ́tà wa àti ti lórúkọ wọn lóòrèkóòrè làwọn náà máa bá wa ìbéèrè àtàbárí kó bá rú àwọn lójú tán bá nídìí ìbéèrè lórí ẹ̀ tán nídìí ká ṣe àsọyánà lórí wọn bá wa á sì sọ àti ìgbọ̀ra wáyé kódà tó bá di ní ọjọ́ Tuesday nísìnyí a ní àkójọ kan fún àwọn tí yóò jẹ́ pé àwọn stakeholder táwọn pé ní observers tó pé kí wọ́n wo a fún wọn ní kápá a fún wọn lágbára pé kí wọ́n máa wo process wa we are being guided by the constitution and then the electoral act wọ́n kó máa wá wò pé ṣé n tá à ń ṣe lọ́jọ́ ìdìbò yẹn tó wà níbàámu pẹ̀lú òfin Nàìjíríà tó wà níbàámu pẹ̀lú òfin táwa fúnra wa ṣe right wọ́n máa wo process yẹn ìbéèrè àtàbá rí pé ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó òfin fún wọn lágbára kó kọ report kó wá bá wa lórí ẹ̀ so àṣà tó bá sì rí pé bíbá ìwé ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ó yẹ kí ká tún tẹ̀síwájú níbi àtúnṣe rẹ̀ so wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ níbi àbí òfin yẹn kó pé àkíyèsí wá sí so àṣìjọ máa ń ṣèpàdé so gbogbo report wọn ni commission máa ń tẹ́tí sí táà sì máa tún fi ṣe àtúnṣe lórí àwọn ètò wa.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni tí a bá wá ń lọ ní àárín ìgboro ẹ rí i pé àwọn posters wọn ti yá lọ́pọ̀ jù níbẹ̀ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé ẹ máa bá àwọn olóṣèlú ṣèpàdé ni kẹ́ ẹ máa sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n máa sọ fáwọn èèyàn wọn wípé ẹ dìbò ẹ má jà ṣé ẹ máa ṣàwọn ìpàdé yẹn.
ṣé gbogbo ìpàdé là ń ṣe pẹ̀lú lẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ ni olóṣèlú ni kódà àwọn lọ́balọ́ba tá a sì fi rọ̀ wọ́n tá a fi ń tọrọ lọ́wọ́ wọn pé wọ́n dákun àlàáfíà òun ló ṣe kókó ní gbogbo ètò tí ẹ̀ bá ń ṣe. Àwọn olóṣèlú wa sì ní tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ fáwọn èèyàn ohun tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe tí ló fi dàgbà sókè òun ni ká máa ṣe. À ń bú ebú kò sí ewu ẹnikẹ́ni láǹfààní. Gbogbo àwọn lọ́balọ́ba gbogbo àwọn aládéládé gbogbo àwọn àfáà àwọn different area láti lọ bá àwọn church láti jọ ṣèpàdé wọ́n ń pè wá ká wá ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní church wọn lórí kiri náà nìkan lórí bí election ṣe lọ ní ìrọwọ́rọsẹ̀ náà ni à ń rọ kálukú náà ká dákun ká bá àwọn ọmọ wa sọ̀rọ̀ ká gbà láfíà láàyè nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun election tí ń bọ̀ kì í ṣoògùn kí gbogbo ọ lọ ní ìrọwọ́ nírọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú wa.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ká tó máa lọ ẹ sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé ẹ ní nọ́mbà kan tí ẹ máa pè ní àwọn tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ pè yín tó bá fẹ́ sọ àwọn kankan fún yín nípa nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣe lè pe nọ́mbà yẹn síta fún wa.
Nọ́mbà tèmi ẹ jẹ́ kí n fún yín.
Okay.
Nọ́mbà tèmi ni 080 34 75 90 21 080 34 75 9021.
Thank you so very much, Alhaji Shehu Mohammed, HOD Election and Party Monitoring, INEC Osun State. Thank you for coming to the program. Yes, this is where we're going to be wrapping this first guest segment of the Saturday Morning Treat. We have another guest in the house where we'll also be discussing another important issue. Thank you for listening. Please stay tuned.
my pleasure welcoming viewers to this program tagged Governors This Week. I am Adibari Jimakide. The program features the activities of the State Governor of Osun. Now we shall be bringing you some of the events that took place during the outgoing week. Governor Adeboyega has assured the people of Osun that his second time in office, if re-elected, will be more rewarding and resourceful. Governor Adeboyega has assured the people of Osun that his second time in office, if re-elected, will be more rewarding and resourceful, describing the first time as a foundation of a brighter future. The state expert gave this assurance during his re-election campaign tour to Buripe and Ifelodun local government areas.
For Governor Adeboyega Oyetola, it was an homecoming as the campaign train for his re-election in the 16th July gubernatorial election hit Iragbeji in Buripe local government area as well as Ikirun, Ifelodun local government area of the state of Osun, to the warm embrace of mammoth of party supporters who received him amid chanting of party slogans at the Palace of Iragbeji and Ikirun Town Hall, where he was showered with royal blessings. Governor Oyetola, who commended the residents for demonstrating unflinching support for his administration, urged the traditional rulers and the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in the area to ensure that eligible voters in the area collect their permanent voters card in ensuring impressive results in the July 16th gubernatorial election. Governor Oyetola noted that he remained focused in transforming the state into an enviable high. Iragbeji of Iragbeji, Oba Abdulrasheed Olabomi, Elende of Ikoinde, Oba Rafiu Olaniyan, Eburu of Iba, Oba Adekunle Okoye, Olobagun of Obagun, Oba Jima Adebisi Okunade, among other traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, enthused that Governor Adeboyega Oyetola has made the people of Buripe and Ifelodun local government areas proud by being a good ambassador, as demonstrated with the monumental achievements recorded across the state. Governor Oyetola, who arrived at St. Peter's Primary School, Iragbeji, as well as at Holy Trinity Secondary School, Okeafo, Ikirun, amid heroic ovation by teaming party supporters, recited that he is undaunted in doing the needful in terms of provision of basic infrastructural developments, as well as welfare policies that satisfies the yearnings and aspirations of Osun residents. The governor therefore appealed to aggrieved party members to sheathe their sword and join hands in ensuring victory for the party in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
Well, it makes that the party is very popular. The party is the party of the people. And by extension, the victory of our party in our state, Osun State, is sure. Governor Fayemi did very well. So it's only natural that people want somebody that decides to nominate for you to run their affairs. And also we believe in continuity. And by any standard, I've done very well. So I will expect that people will support me to continue to do what I'm doing for them. So I look forward to winning the election on 16th of July, 2022, by the grace of Almighty God. To them is that they continue to support us. We are there for them, and we'll do better than what we have done now. Give the opportunity to have a second term.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Boyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, Prince Adebayo Adeleke, Engineer Hussein Olaniyan, among other party stalwarts who spoke in turn, emphasized that a vote for the All Progressive Congress in the forthcoming gubernatorial election represents sustenance of good governance under the leadership of Governor Adeboyega Oyetola, as well as a brighter future for the state.
Seeing is believing. You can see what is on the ground. This is just one local government. And the way we are doing it is You don't have to bring people from another local government for this kind of rally. Purely Borikpe local government people. That is what you can see. You can see how crowded it is. We have no fear. We are more than prepared. We are ready. And I can tell you that if the use of thugs could be eliminated, if rigging could be eliminated, if snatching of ballot boxes could be eliminated, we don't have opposition. We are winning this election.
We are fully prepared. We have mobilized our people to go and pick their PVCs from INEC offices. We have sensitized them on the need to be orderly during elections and not to cause anything that might disturb the progress and the smooth election that we are expecting. So we are fully prepared.
Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboye Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Grace Titila Oyeponle, secretary to the state government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, chief of staff to the governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, members of the state executive council, members of the state house of assembly, members of National Assembly, and the leadership of the All Progressive Congress from across the state.
Governor Adegboye Oyetola has reiterated his determination to serve humanity and further advance the development of Osun. Governor Oyetola gave this hint during his second-term electioneering campaign to Riadi and Ijebu-Jesha local government areas.
The campaign train for the re-election of Governor Adegboye Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election cruised into Atakumasa East and Atakumasa West local government areas of the state of Osun amid jubilation and fanfare by party supporters in the area. Governor Oyetola, who paid courtesy call at the palace of Olosunjela of Osunjela Ijesha, as well as the Penido Town Hall and the palace of Oloshu of Oshu, to receive the symbolic royal blessings, reassured the residents of the areas that commendable achievements recorded across the state would further be extended if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. Olosunjela of Osunjela Ijesha, Oba Abdurrahman Babatunde Muhammad, who spoke through Oba Olanrewaju Olaosebikan Agbadahe of Igbadahe Ijesha, as well as Alama of Ayegbaju Ijesha, Oba Abdin Adeyemi Oloja of Ibodi, Oba Omishade Agboluaje Adimola of Ifewara, Oba Ezekiel Ogolola, supported by other traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, lauded Governor Adegboye Oyetola for his exemplary imprints visible in infrastructural developments, overall welfare of the citizenry, education, as well as quality health care delivery across the state, addressing the members and party supporters who thronged Ipenido Community High School, as well as Atakumasa High School, Oshu. Governor Oyetola maintained that he is in government basically to serve the people, added that years of experience in private business and public service has equipped him with what it takes to deliver the good of the majority as currently unfolding across the state. Speaking on the capacity of Governor Adegboye Oyetola in the heart of good governance, the state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Boyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, former members of the House of Representatives, Honorable Ajibola Famureba, as well as Honorable Babatunde Komalafe, representing Atakumasa East and Atakumasa West constituency in the State House of Assembly, submitted that the state of Osun has never had it so good in terms of regular and prompt payment of workers' salary and emoluments, infrastructural developments, educational transformations, qualitative health care delivery, among other welfare packages for the citizenry across the state.
What is happening today is quite different with what happened 4 years ago. Today, I can assure you, we are going to win in all the 6 local governments in the Ijesha land. You can see the way people, not party members this time around, the artisans, people of these different communities, took out to welcome Mr. Governor.
Talk to the people of my constituency in Atakumosa East and West, where we are doing campaign today, that they should go out and vote for Governor Gboyega Oyetola for the second time in the office to continue the good work that they have been doing.
Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Oweye, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, stewards and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state.
The State Governor of Osun, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, has charged the eligible electorates to vote him into power for second term to further deliver the means of democracy for the benefits of mankind. He gave this charge during his re-election campaign to Ijebu-Ijesha South Federal Constituency.
The campaign train for the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election also pulled up at Ijesha North Federal Constituency, comprising Obokun Local Government Area, Obokun East Local Council Development Area, Oriade Local Government Area, as well as Oriade Local Council Development Area in the state of Osun, while receiving royal blessings at the Palace of Alademure of Ibokun, as well as the Palace of Elegboro of Ijebu-Ijesha. Governor Oyetola, who commended the royal fathers for their prayers with positive results, said that more developmental projects and welfare policies are in the pipeline if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. In their separate remarks, Owamiran of Esauke, Oba Adeyemi Adediran, Alademure of Ibokun, Oba Festus Awogboro, Ajalaye of Ipetu-Ijesha, Oba Adeleke Agunbiade, Elegboro of Ijebu-Ijesha, Oba Moses Oluwafemi Agunsoye, on behalf of other traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, paid glowing tributes for the outstanding performance recorded, describing him as competent, pragmatic, a leader par excellence with humane heart, affirming that there's a need for good work to continue under the leadership of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola across the state, addressing the timid crowd of party supporters at Ibokun roundabout as well as at Ijebu-Ijesha market. Governor Oyetola noted that a vote for Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election represents a quantum leap towards the actualization of Yoruba presidency personified by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the benefit of all across the state of Osun, adding that he is poised to surpass what is currently unfolding in terms of meeting the yearnings and aspirations of the people across the state.
We recognize the fact that it's been in existence, only has been existent for a while, but things are changing. I believe with the turnout and the performance during the primary, I believe it's not the same thing. We are making serious inroads into to win, but I'm confident about that. Based on the performance of our government, the performance of our party, we are winning.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodo, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, as well as the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in Ijesha North Federal Constituency, including Otumba Jumoke Ogunkeyede, Alhaji Nasir Komonlafe, Honorable Natalia Agunbiade, Honorable Bosun Oyintiloye, among other speakers who were pretty much eloquent in reeling out the laudable achievements recorded in all ramifications across the state, enjoined the residents to reciprocate the good gesture in the forthcoming gubernatorial election in sustaining the good governance. Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Grace Titilayo Panle, chief of staff to the governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, members of the State Executive Council, members of the State House of Assembly, the leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state.
I did it right at this juncture to wrap up this presentation. Until next Saturday, when we shall meet again on the program, continue to promote the peaceful atmosphere of the state. Don't forget to get your PVC ready ahead of the fast approaching gubernatorial election. I am Adibare Ejmakide. Do have a wonderful and blissful weekend.
You are welcome back. We are still on the guest segment of the program, Saturday Morning Treat. And we have a guest in the house, Barrister Awoni Alabi, our second guest for today. Barrister Awoni Alabi, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the barrister will be speaking to us on the...
And good morning, viewers.
Yeah, thank you. The barrister will be speaking to us on the face-off between the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Supreme Court Justices.
Yes.
Now, Oluchi.
Yes, it came to everyone as a surprise that on the 58 years of the creation of the Supreme Court, something is happening. Why should it be the Supreme Court that's considered as the apex court, as the apex court? What is the implication of this face-off of the judiciary?
Well, thank you. Well, it came to, like you said, most of us who are stakeholders in administration of justice, it came to us also as a surprise. But the problem is part of the endemic institutional dysfunctions in the country. Even if you start from the lowest rung of the ladder, take customary courts. A court is a court. How much more the apex court of the land? So it speaks to the goings on in our institutions that need reformation. And from what we have read in the social media, there appears to be some form of mismanagement. Mismanagement in the sense that the salary of the Supreme Court justices remains, they report 500,000, and a professor has 450,000. And we have been hearing since the commencement of this current political dispensation, the humongous salary being taken home by the members of the legislature and the executive. We have heard of, from a former senator, Senator Sheikh Sani, he talked of 14 million for the members of the National Assembly. Professor Saidi, who is involved in one way or the other, talks of 29 million per month. And that's for the members of either the legislature or the executive. They have not come out to deny it. Even if they had done at all, it's neither here nor there. Their responses have always been, it's not humongous, it's not this. They have not come to tell us this is how much we have. And now, if you now think of a court as an institution, the significance of the judiciary, these are the people set aside by the society. It's the National Commission. So, by the society to settle disputes between people within themselves and people and government and even various government agencies within themselves. And we now think about the hardship the experience in terms of emoluments is a very dangerous thing for our democracy. And it is not as if this is the first time this issue has been raised. The new dimension is what we are talking about, that is coming out from the justices themselves and within the judiciary itself. Maybe let me address that one. The relationship between the CJN and the justices of the Supreme Court. We are now taking it as a case study for other courts. Now, yes, as it has been said, judges are to be seen, they are not to be heard. If you hear them at all, it's in the course of the proceedings in the court or at the point of delivery of judgments. They are not wired by the constitutional provisions and the ethics of the profession to talk about what is going on within themselves, outside. But we must not lose sight of one thing, that judges are human beings, like every one of us. They are subject to emotional bursts too. It's only if you accept to be on the bench as a judge or a justice of the Supreme Court, you have consigned yourself to the seclusive life of a judge. That more or less as if you are just hiding from the public glare. That's what it means. That's why you don't just see judges anywhere. Why? Because if they begin to mix freely, there is likelihood that they expose themselves to litigants. And so they give themselves easy access for temptation. So that's why they have to consistently live a seclusive life. Now, on the issue between the CJN and the justices, we weren't there, we didn't know what efforts they had made in the past, but I strongly feel that what should have been done is that lawyers are the ones that can speak for the judges, even their lordships. If they invite a lawyer to the chambers and intimate that lawyer with the goings on, the lawyer knows what to do to make sure the information gets to the appropriate quarters. They could as well have invited the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, discuss with them. If that one does not work, they could as well have called on the President of the Nigerian Bar Association. And I will be recommending that, now that it has come to the public glare, that those stakeholders must necessarily weigh in to resolve the crisis. But what has happened is a reflection of what is happening in the society as a whole. Yes, what about all others? We are talking of only the political office holders with their humongous salaries, legislature, executive. We now see a very significant arm of government bearing the brunt, being borne by the generality of the members of the society. It is not good at all.
Now, with this development now, what do you think will be the impact on the entire society?
Well, the impact is as good as what we have said. We are trying to develop our democracy. And the judiciary is an essential and a significant part of that process. And if you leave the situation as it is, there is no doubt that bad days are ahead for our democratic experience. I just want to believe that those who have the opportunity of being in government, as our leaders currently, they should think the way we are thinking outside, that this thing is wrong and it should be corrected. Even at the National Assembly, it can be corrected. At the level of this current constitutional amendment, Because if you look at the areas that deals with issue of money concerning the judiciary, yes, the National Judicial Council is to collect and control the money. But there is no specific area that they can alter the salaries or the emolument. Talk of revenue mobilization, allocation, and fiscal commission too. The bodies listed there, in respect of which that commission can review the salaries, does not include the judiciary. Now, I believe the constitution should be amended along that line. Yes, what is in the profession is that the salary of the judges are drawn from the consolidated fund.
Yes.
And that it cannot be altered to their disadvantage. The meaning of that is that it cannot be reduced. It cannot be tampered with in any way, in any form. But it has been made to be stagnant to their disadvantage from the current revelations. So that's why we have to, all hands must be on deck. I call on the lawyers in the legislative arm and the executive arm. They should see to it that all these areas are addressed.
Now, you just talked about the need to amend the Constitution.
Yes.
This has been there for a very long time. And the judiciary is an arm of government that should be financially independent.
Yes.
So why is it just coming up now? The salary has remained stagnant, going by the inflationary rate.
Economic reality.
Yes, yes.
Why is it just coming out now?
Yes, you see, in the Revenue Mobilization Commission that I talked about, they knew situations like this will arise. And that's why they put it there, that the salaries of these people can be reviewed in line with the realities on ground. They envisaged it. Why is it that they did not envisage those of the judges? Why is it that the judiciary is not included as part of those people, officers of government, whose salaries should be reviewed in line with the realities of the situation? It's like you see, the way we go about our leadership in the country. Yes, our leaders say they take care of us, they do this, they do that, but they behave like the Lord of the Manor. They behave like the Lord of the Manor. Leaders should actually be servants. The leaders should even be suffering so that the followership will enjoy. That's how it should be. No, this issue has not started now. Like I said, the only dimension is that it's coming directly from the Supreme Court itself. And not even the CJ maybe saying it in a public function. The justices now appears not to be happy with what is happening by the administration of the CJN. And that's why I said the other time that the way it has come out leaves much to be desired, because it should have gone through the normal procedure in the profession. Like I said earlier on, over 20 years ago when I had the opportunity to be chairman of MBA in Osun State, when Governor B.C. Akande just came into power. You know, he took over from a military regime. And I was the sitting chairman of the bar. What happened then was that when I went to the Chief Judge's Court to appear as a lawyer, he said he wanted to see me. He called me into and told me that, did I know salary of judges in Osun State had been in arrears for the past 4 months? And these are the people, you don't want them to take bribes. And people come to them, there are temptations here and there, and you are staffing them of fund. What is the implication of that? Now let me talk how I handled the situation. So another judge also came, I confirmed it. I went back to my office, put off a press release to your station here, and I sent it to them. Then they started saying it, your television, your radio, like that. the governor himself had and called his attorney general.
Okay.
That, is it true? The attorney general called me, now Professor Kayode Adedeji.
Okay.
I said it is true. So that was how. And within 1-2 weeks, the arrest of salary was clear. You know, that's the normal procedure. That's why I said their lordship should have invited the president of the NBA or the federal attorney general. And these people will have easy access to the people in government. Yes, I think that's the way it should be rooted.
Okay.
In case of
the time you spoke about now was not the era of the social media, because there was actually this information that the letter got leaked.
That is
You know?
true. The point is this. The point is this. Whatever you don't want the next person to hear, don't write it down and don't utter it. So that's the rule. Once it is uttered, the whole public will know about it. Yes, it wasn't their intention that you should go to the social media, but they should have that understanding that once they have put it in writing, a secretary will type it. A judge will not type it. Somebody will be instructed to type, and somebody will be instructed to go and deliver it. You know, between typing, delivery, the whole thing is out. The whole thing is out. We now live in a global village, so you don't take all those things for granted. But it is not late. Yes, that one has happened. It has happened. Like I said, judges are human beings like every other person, and they're subject to emotional outburst. Is out now. Yes, the body is lifted off their heart, and definitely something must be done. And that's why I was making the recommendation. After those things came out, I read the statement made by the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. But what I would recommend again is that the president of the Nigerian Bar Association should seek audience with their lordship, the CJN, and they will know how to go about it with the people in government. And if the president is going, he shouldn't go alone. He should invite senior members of the bar, not necessarily those who are on the executive with him now. You know, we have we give a lot of credence to seniority at the bar. So there are different ways. If you are doing that kind of thing, you invite senior lawyers outside. They will accompany him to go and meet them. The CJN, definitely there will be lawyers who are senior to him outside. So the president should invite some of the former presidents of the bar, even those who are not former president but they are senior lawyers. They will accompany him, and I believe the problem will be addressed. But mainly the executive should take note of that situation, and this legislative arm also should take note of that situation, that they cannot leave the judiciary unattended to and say and think the democratic process will continue to be on course.
Now, if from what we are discussing now, if you look at the law regulating the salaries and emolument of the judicial officers, it seems that the law is already outdated. That is the reason why we are having this kind of problem we are having. Now, what would you recommend in this area?
That's why I said I have looked at the provisions of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commission. That's why I said it should be amended, because you have the salaries of president, this and that, and a portion stated that the salaries of the officers that included so. Specifically, it put it there that political office holders. Why was the judiciary omitted? So that in this, their piecemeal amendments they are doing to the Constitution, it's not difficult for them to amend that area. So by doing that, they will have included the judiciary, and also the provisions of the NJC, that allows the NJC to collect, to control the money. It should also be put there that the NJC will have the power to review the salary of judges. Once it's put there, the argument that this is for recurrent expenditure, this is for capital expenditure will have been taken care of. That the salary also can be reviewed in line with the realities on ground.
Now,
So I think that settles it.
The issues that came up were not about salaries and emoluments alone. There were complaints that a letter emanated from the Supreme Court registrar that by 4 p.m. they have to shut the generating sites.
Yes.
And activities will be disrupted for the whole day. It also talked about the vehicles for judges and issue of residents too. So, and they also accused the CJN of corruption. Now, if you look at these whole issues, do you think the public will still have confidence in the judiciary?
Yes, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but the public must not lose confidence in the judiciary because of this lone incident.
Okay.
There have been CJN, there will continue to be CJN. And again, from the reaction of the chief registrar, there is nothing that shows evidence of corruption. Yes, I read some things in the social media that they said the CJN's children, they are involved in politics. One is given a ticket for in APC. Another one is given tickets in PDP. To me, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
The fact that you are a judge does not mean your children cannot live their own life. If the father has agreed to accept the seclusive life of a judge, what stops the children? The father is retiring in the next 1 year.
Okay.
So are these children, do they want the children to continue to live the life of their father? No, that's not, it's neither here nor there. It's the only thing that will happen. If those children now come into politics, what will happen is that they make sure that if maybe by their through the electoral process they have to go to court, that their cases don't go before their father.
Okay.
Yes, they are like any other Nigerian. The fact that they are children of a CJN does not mean they should now, whether they like it or not, whether they want it, whether their interest is in politics or not, so they should not go into politics. I don't buy into that area, except you can pin them down to a corrupt practice.
Okay.
If you can pin them down to a corrupt practice, then we can regard that statement as being on course.
Okay.
But anything short of that, the children have the rights.
Okay.
Why is it that the politicians want their children to become lawyers and become judges? Why didn't they say all of them should go and begin to fight for political offices?
All right.
So I don't, there is no, but because it has come to the public knowledge, anything can be manipulated, anything can be taken out of context. That's what I believe.
Èèyàn wa fún àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa nílé amòfin Awoniyi Alabi ọ̀rọ̀ fàǹfà tó wáyé láàrin àwọn adájọ́ àti adájọ́ àgbà ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, àwọn adájọ́ ilé ẹjọ́ tó ga jù Supreme Court àti adájọ́ àgbà Nàìjíríà, ṣé bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nìyẹn àbí bó ló ṣe yẹ kó rí?
Ẹ ṣé, kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n kò ní ya wá lẹ́nu gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Kì í ṣe èní kì í ṣàná láti sọ̀rọ̀ owó tí àwọn olóṣèlú ń gbà àti pé owó tí àwọn adájọ́ ń gbà ó kéré sí iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe. Kì í ṣàkọ́kọ́. Àwọn tí ilé ẹjọ́ gíga Supreme Court là ń sọ yìí, ó kan ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ìpínlẹ̀ tá ń pè ní High Court, eléyìí tó à ń pè ní alága mẹ́ta Court of Appeal, gbogbo wọn náà ló kàn. Nígbà tó jẹ́ pé ti Supreme Court là ń sọ yìí, òun ni ilé ẹjọ́ tó ga jùlọ pátápátá, ẹ wá wò sí kí ni ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ilé ẹjọ́ alága mẹ́ta tàbí ilé ẹjọ́ High Court tó wà ní state. nǹkan kan náà ni ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Ohun tí ó ń fà náà sì ni pé àwọn tán ń darí wa, àwọn aṣíwájú wa tán wà ní ipò òṣèlú, wọ́n ń lo ipò yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìgbà tí ó jẹ́ pé àwọn ni ọ̀gá tí àwọn yòókù jẹ́ ẹrú. Kò sì yẹ kí aṣíwájú máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Aṣíwájú rere ó gbọ́dọ̀ lè gbárata fún ọmọlẹ́yìn rẹ̀. Ìtorí ẹ̀ náà ṣe jẹ́ aṣíwájú. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ní sùúrù bí wọ́n bú wọn ní o, bí wọ́n sá wọn ní o. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wo ohun tí àwọn tó wà lẹ́yìn wọn tàbí àwọn tí ò sí nínú agbára yẹn tí wọ́n ń là kọjá, kan sì lè wá nǹkan ṣe sí títí tí ó fi tẹ́ àwọn èèyàn lọ́rùn. Now eléyìí tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ilé ẹjọ́ gíga, àwọn adájọ́ wa, n tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó níbẹ̀ ni pé ìwé tí wọ́n kọ tó wá hàn síta tí adájọ́ àgbà náà tó wá ń dá èsì padà tó wá jẹ́ pé n tí gbogbo ayé ń kà ní ìyẹn ni ò dáa tó. Nítorí pé nígbà tí gbogbo n tó rọ̀ mọ́ ètò ìdájọ́ ó ní pé n tó bá jẹ mọ́ wọn, ẹni tá a bá ti pé àfiṣe adájọ́ kì í ṣe ẹni tí ó máa wí wọ́n káàkiri. Agbẹjọ́rò ló máa ń ṣe agbẹnusọ fún àwọn ilé ẹjọ́. N tí ò bá ṣẹlẹ̀, n tí wọ́n bá ti ṣe ó ní pé a ní ẹni tó jẹ́ ààrẹ ẹgbẹ́ agbẹjọ́rò lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà, tí wọ́n bá pè, tí wọ́n bá sọ orú ọ̀rọ̀ ìfún kò ní dákẹ́. Ó ní àǹfààní láti rí, ó fúnra rẹ̀ ó lè rí adájọ́ àgbà kan jọjọ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Ọ̀nà tán bá lè rìn tí wọ́n á fi wá nǹkan ṣe sí, wọ́n á wá ṣe sí. Tàbí kan ti pé ẹni tó jẹ́ mínísítà fún ètò ìdájọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè kan sọ tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ fún òun, ó wà láàrin àwọn tí ń ṣèjọba. Òun lè bá ààrẹ orílẹ̀‐èdè sọ̀rọ̀ pé tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ètò ìdájọ́ yìí kò dáa, ẹ jẹ́ ká wá nǹkan ṣe sí. Ìṣó nìkan, àwọn lọ́yà míì náà wà nínú àwọn tí ó jẹ́ ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ tán bá ààrẹ ṣèjọba tí wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò tọ́ kò tọ̀nà kán máa fi ìyà jẹ adájọ́, kó máa kínú ẹ̀ má dùn nípa ilé tí ń gbé, kínú ẹ̀ má dùn nípa mọ́tò tó ń gùn, kínú ẹ̀ má dùn lórí sálárì tó ń gbà. Ẹ sì ní kó wá máa dájọ́ láàrin àwọn tó jí owó. Ẹ sì pé kán má gba owó àbẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, èèyàn ẹlẹ́ran ara sì ni àwọn náà. Nítorí ìyẹn kábàá lè pagbo yí wọn ká kí àwọn nǹkan tí kò tọ́ kán má bàa máa ṣe, òun ló ṣe ká tọ́jú wọn bó ṣe yẹ kí wọ́n tọ́jú wọn. Kì í ṣàwọn ló yẹ kán máa pariwo pé owó tó ń gbà kò tó wọn ná. Àwọn náà bímọ, wọ́n fẹ́ rán ọmọ lọ iléèwé. Nígbà tí adájọ́ tí ò bá lè rán ọmọ lọ síléèwé, tí alága káńsù rán ọmọ lọ, tí káńsílọ̀ rán ọmọ lọ, ṣe mọ̀ pé nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ nípa yẹn. Ìyẹn náà ni tí yẹn ń sọ fún wa ni pé àsìkò ti tó láti ṣe tó tọ́ àti tó yẹ láti gbé àwọn adájọ́ sí ipò tó yẹ wọ́n, pàápàá jùlọ nípa ètò ìnáwó.
Ẹ ṣe gan ni àkókò tí kò àkókò mọ́ra, ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí ẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ẹ mẹ́nubà pé ó ní òfin tó wọ́n gbé yẹ̀wò.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn òfin wà fún àwọn tí ń ṣe ìjọba àti ààrẹ àti gómìnà rẹ̀ tá à ń pè ní àjọ tá à ń pè ní Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commission. Ntẹ́mi fẹ́ kàn ṣe ni pé ní ara òfin yẹn ẹ̀ka kan wà tán sọ pé wọ́n lè tún owó tí àwọn èèyàn yẹn ń gbà ṣe bí ojú ọjọ́ bá ṣe rí nípa ètò ìnáwó. Mo fẹ́ kàn gbé àwọn adájọ́ náà sí ibẹ̀ yẹn níbi tí àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ tó ga jùlọ nípa ètò ìdájọ́ náà tá à ń pè ní NJC tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ní gba owó, àwọn onímọ̀gbọ́n ṣe ń náwó. Mo fẹ́ kàn tún òfin yẹn náà ṣe, kàn fi síbẹ̀ pé ìgbìmọ̀ yẹn o lára owó tí wọ́n ń gbà lọ́wọ́ ìjọba wọ́n lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti fi kún owó oṣù àti owó àjẹmọ́nú tí àwọn adájọ́ bá ń gbà bí ojú ọjọ́ bá ṣe rí lórílẹ̀‐èdè.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni, thank you very much. Mr. Awuni Alabi. He's a legal professional, and he has been speaking on the face-off between the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Supreme Court justices. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you for having
Yes, this is where we will be saying we'll be ending the second guest platform on the Saturday morning trade. We'll go to the commercial segment now, and we'll take messages from LAPO. Please stay tuned.
We at LAPO are committed to poverty eradication. We equally believe that the battle against poverty requires the effort of everyone.
Hello, welcome to Bridging the Gap, which comes to you from Lift Above Poverty Organization, LAPO. Patience Nakumana is my name, and thank you very much for watching this program. This morning we are going to be talking about women and sustainable agricultural development. Agriculture contributes significantly to Nigeria's economy, and women occupy a central position in agricultural development, producing more than 50% of the food in most developing countries. However, majority of them still struggle to access and benefit from available resources, including land, extension services, and affordable financial services. So on the program this morning, we are going to be talking about how we can target more women farmers to benefit from or to produce more in terms of agricultural productivity and development. So I have with me this morning in the studio Professor Mike Asekome. But before we continue with our introduction, we are going to take the LAPO message. Please stay with us. Welcome back from LAPO Message. Like I said earlier, our guest on the program this morning is Professor Mike Asekome, who is from Department of Banking and Finance. He's a professor in the Department of Banking and Finance, Benson Idahosa University. And Professor Mike Asekome is also an agricultural economist, a banker, and a development finance specialist. Prof, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, Prof, I'll go straight to our discussion by asking that you explain what is meant by targeting women farmers for sustainable agricultural development.
Thank you very much. When we talk about sustainable agricultural development, we are just the word sustainable development simply means that whatever you are doing it not to deplete every resource that is in that sector. So as you are doing it, you have to deploy your resources, pursue your goals, take into consideration three factors. Factors of the environment, then factors of the people that will benefit now, then people that are going to benefit in future. So like a forest place, if you cut down all the trees, then the generation to come later, they may have no access to those natural resources.
So if you look at it that way, it means that when we talk about sustainable agricultural development, we are simply saying that pursuing the goals of agriculture, taking into consideration those three pillars that are concerned with the environment, the benefits now, and what people may or may not benefit in the future. And in agriculture, women play a very, very vital role. In fact, in the area of agriculture can also be looked at in two major areas, the upstream and the downstream. The upstream, where you involve in cultivation, like cutting down the forest, planting, and all those activities at that technical, I mean, that very high level. The downstream will be services, processing, distribution, as on and so forth. If you look at it that way, women play a very, very important role more at the downstream. In fact, when bushes have been cut down for major agricultural production, women do more in terms of planting, weeding, harvesting, and even now processing, as on and so forth. So women play vital role because in this country as at now, women contribute to staple food production. It's over 60% of what comes for food production. If you look at the other side, more of the three crops like oil palm, cocoa, rubber, and so forth, the men engage more in the upstream. But when it comes to even harvesting, processing, women again play very well. So whichever you look, whether about cash crops, arable crops, women play a very, very vital role. Now talking about targeting. Targeting now means that we know what women are doing, all they can do at their potential. But what are we doing to actually encourage or motivate to target in such a way that they can now even do more than they are doing now? See, that is the area this topic is looking at.
All right. So what has been the role of Nigerian women in promoting sustainable agricultural production?
Yeah, they have been involved, like I said before, in most of the work that are most often manual. That is, in the case of a farm, for instance, where the men have cut down the forest, they have maybe where they are digging, they have dug as well. Women now play the more role of planting, weeding, even harvesting, and then maybe marketing. So women, they are certain other crops where women are more involved. Like people, cassava, if you look at this country, in the Niger Delta, for instance, women are more in cassava production. They are also in production like melon, vegetables, as on and so forth. So if you look at it that you find that women, where men are having major focus, women are most supporting them to ensure that there is activities at that level that women are more engaged. Then in the area where they are also farming on their own, and therefore contributing at both ends into agricultural production. So women, they are very vital in food production. Then if you look at processing, people that run restaurants, making the food available, most often women, they are also more involved. The market, if you go to the women, to the market, the new market, almost, in fact, all the food stuff, apart from that, people now call with yam for the north, but women are still more involved in marketing of gari, tomatoes, pepper, yam, and so forth in the market. So at any level, look at it, women are very vital in agricultural production.
Okay, so what has been the challenges so far to women's contribution in agricultural development?
I will again look at it from two sides. In this country, land ownership is an area where women, they have limitations. From our cultural background also, most often, women, they rarely own land. Even in a family, if you are looking at the ownership in that family, most often, it is the men who have the right to the land. So, looking at the land itself, women have some, that doesn't mean they don't have access to land, but I'm just saying that culturally, if you look at it from the background, women don't really have much access to land. They may not have to go and get either from their husband, families, or things like that. So, in the real sense of it, you can say that they don't have that equal access like men will have. The second one, we always associate poverty more with women, not because they are lazy, but because of situations that we are at our level of development. First and foremost, like I said before, access to resources. Women, they have some kind of limitation. Then, secondly, even access to credit. Of recent, a lot of changes are coming up. Where people now say they can have women group, they have a gender mainstreaming that they should encourage women. In the past, a woman alone would rarely walk to the bank without the husband to go and ask for a loan. In fact, they will not take all. In fact, they will have to make sure the husband is in agreement or is a consensus. So they have that limitation to access to credit. Although, like I said, for now, a lot of financial institutions are coming up. I know that a bank like Access Bank used to have a scheme for women entrepreneurs, SMEs. So that access to credit, access to resources like land, they are part of the constraints. Then secondly, there are some parts of this country where women are still not allowed to go, either to go and do farming or marketing. In fact, they are just, I don't know, they call it northern Muslims, or where women are kept indoors. They cover their face, their hair, I don't know. So it's a constraint. We are looking at the entire country, not just in Edo State now. So it's some part of the country that, again, is a constraint. Then, like I said before also, some of the things that women can do, they may not have the access to the resources, like capital-intensive farming, where you have to go and hire big equipment like tractors and so forth. So now for that, women, they are playing at the low, the small scale, at maximum SME in agricultural production. It's only a few cases you see a very big farm where they say the woman is the owner. There are some few cases anyway, like Wilma. I know, but in most cases, women, they play at a very low level of agricultural production. Therefore, if you look at how to scale the access to resources and what they do, of course, they can target that area to say they can contribute more to food production.
What about the area of literacy?
Yes, that is the area where I was going to talk about extension services.
Yeah.
The area of extension services, women again have some kind of limitation. Because most of our extension workers, they are men. In some parts of the country, it's not feasible for you to have women having farms. Then men extension services now go to the farm to go and either teach or educate them. It's because some part of the country. I worked in almost every part of the country. But then, we also look at it for the area of literacy. There are a lot of changes in this country now, but in the past, in those days, most often, you rarely find women who were literate, who were educated, who may now want to go into farming. So education, knowledge, capacity to manage assets, to manage enterprises is a limitation if they are not educated. So most often we also find that majority of those who are supposed to be farmers, who are women, they also had that limitation in terms of education and exposure and access to technical and extension services.
All right, some analysts have also said that it's very difficult for women to access financial services.
Yes. No, I just tried to, I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
No, most often, if you are to be a bank manager, and the woman walks in, he say he wants a loan. It may not be, okay, assume it's not a company, a corporate body that you can say, well, the woman is the MD or maybe the chairman or so. Assume it's just an individual woman who walks in and she's not known so well that would be already made big farmer or so. People, I mean, the bank would be asking more questions than if a man comes in. They'll be asking more questions. They'll be asking who is who is behind, who is your husband, how. And it's not supposed to, but that is the truth. Because you begin to wonder, can that woman manage that farm, the resources that be granted? Don't also forget in agricultural production, some of the activities that are involved, they are very difficult to supervise. If a woman is to have an oil palm farm located in the outskirts of Benin, for instance, and you are going to employ male people to be clearing the bush and so many things like that, it's not going to be very easy for her without the support of either the husband, or what I mean as a family farm household. But if it's a company that is well established, where you have a counter, you have this, you have this, but at that level, when we are looking at the SME and the small scale and the micro, women, they still have that limitation if you want to access credit. But like I said before, the trend is changing gradually. I know what LAPO is doing. They want to encourage women. In fact, they are gender sensitive when it comes to access to credit. So they now make you to organize them into groups. And what is the purpose of that? To ensure that there is that kind of group pressure, group management, in such a way that even when some are lacking, some can help. But ordinarily, it's a bit difficult for them to access credit based on the factors we are. Maybe the first place, does woman have access to her own land? Is it family land? Is the husband's land? So the bank will be asking some of these questions. So that is why that aspect is there. But I believe, like I said, things are changing. I do hope that when the women are seen to be doing very well, for instance, the banks, they will not go too far. But somebody just coming in, you have a good project, but many questions are asked to the woman that may not be as if the man has come forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take a break here for Faces of Lapo, and when we come back, we'll continue.
My name is Ruben Irede. I dey for PTI Road, 107 PTI Road. I dey with Labna for about 5 years now, or about 5 years now. I think I don't achieve small thing or big thing from Lapo. Before I enter Lapo, to get small money to run this business, they had me well. But one of my friends, so me go Lapo. So we go there, they start with 200,000 naira without paying any money, but 2 guarantor. Rather, that money just begin to help me since I started this work. So, because once a year, and when I pay, I finish, they will give me another one. So it helped me for my business. You see, and I say, if you look my business now, if you look around, you go see my business. Now my business don't grow. See what you see for yesterday, a small one. What for yesterday, a small thing. Apart from you came out a small thing, they see for yesterday. This year, Lapo just give me money. As I give me the money, I take up enter market, buy goods for my store. If I carry you go where my wood today now, you go to say market today there. So now benefit I get from that. People they say Lapo money no good. Now lie you talk. When you borrow money, take a go market, go buy something. No borrow money, take a go hire motor or buy motor or anything. Take a buy what you they say. At the end of the day, you go to say Lapo money not be wire money. Not be money what they say juju money say the value lie. No money they vanish. That money go, if you invest that well, you will get the gain. That's what the matter be that. Market when I start with 200,000 naira now, what did they give me so? Look the store 1 year now. Look that side where we will get so. But can you go warehouse, you go see what there for warehouse. You will say yes. Lapo just see efforts for this business. But when they give out money, we will go find money again. What we tell you, we just go market, buy the people inside, so we begin to sell. So I don't gain a lot from Lapo. I true of the matter. This PTI Road branch, PTI 1 for years so. That's my office. 5 years now. We operate together. With the quarrel, with the laugh, with the doing it together. So it's a very good thing that if you take money from Lapo, don't take a go pay while your wife died, you take a go market, go buy something for your store. At the end of the day, you go say you're going to pay the money. As you are paying the money small, you get small gain when you go to get for inside. Savings. When the year end, when you want, they go do what? They give it to you. So Lapo is not a bad investment, it's a very good investment. If you try them, as I tell you so, take the money, go what you they sell, buy them for your stock. You go see the gain when they inside. As I judge this Lapo so, at least I get my own kitchen when I just stay now. This is a worry. I get my own kitchen when I just stay. When they help me well now from this Lapo because I don't find money tire again to go buy market. Now for that I get my own kitchen. I just stay for this worry now. I think that one is enough. That one is enough. That is the biggest thing because as you just say, if you don't get your kitchen, you don't get wahala again. No. Landlord pass go there not day. This year we build that. This year we build that. As we take my money back, where for get money to buy market and from Lapo. That one we don't build them again. So at least, brother, I don't gain something. When I go Peter will say, do I tell you say, apart from joking matter, Lapo don't help me. My prayer be say, make the help other people where need help. So they can be able to do what? Testify themselves, say yes, Lapo, because many people say Lapo money, you take just now, you just be like which money? I don't see any which money for inside though. 5 years on this side, so I don't see any which money for inside. Because I take the money, can I go market and they get gain. So I'm happy. So Lapo is sort of my progress. That is what I go to tell you. It's not my progress. No doubt about it.
Welcome back from Faces of Lapo. For business owners who are interested in partnering with Lapo Microfinance Bank, you can call the numbers on the screen for more information. Okay, Prof. Let's also look at how we can ensure equal access to natural resources and services for women farmers.
Yeah, that is true. It's very, very important. But you know, like access to land, in real sense, where land is no longer, well, there are two aspects to it. Now, there is community land, there are family land. Then in some urban areas, government now have control over land because they have to issue CO4 really. But we are looking at women who are going to small scale or we want to embark on acquiring land. So if there is really can relax that cultural constraint that it is the men in the family, a man has children, some are female, some are men, and maybe the man is going to look at that ownership. So the men have advantage. But if that is relaxed, if you have family land and someone wants to use it for farming or for anything, that should be that it should not be so restrictive as to that ownership. The secondly, I think what government may do, like I was saying, is that if there are women who want to go into farming, government could assist by probably getting some land, open it for them, where they can now go and be cultivating those crops that they can cultivate and not too much involving. That is another aspect to it. So I think that from both the family aspect, from the community aspect, from the government aspect, women should be encouraged by making it a bit easy for them to have access rather than dictating that kind of ownership restrictions when it comes to the family level and the community. I think that can be done to assist the women because they are really, some of them actually need land. They may have to go a higher land. Some of them, they find it difficult to get land in some cases.
And I think also that women find it difficult to venture into cultivation of cash crops because of these limitations, limitation to land, access to land.
Kind of cultivation type like mechanization and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So let's finally look at the way forward for women. Yeah. What is the way forward?
The way forward is that women should be encouraged. Training, capacity building, extension services is very, very important because they may even have access to credit, for instance. If they still have some limitation in the other aspects of their requirements, of course, they may not be able to achieve their potential. So access to credit, like I said, some are getting a bit relaxed now because they know that they're actually encouraging women. Some of them are not able to have access to micro loans, either from the community, from the microfinance banks or from establishments like LAPO. So they are having access. But even then, because they still lack collateral, I should encourage the question of group lending, where they could have this kind of peer pressure and group liability schemes, which I think is quite good. I also know that some international development financial institutions like IFAD and FAO, they have also been encouraging women in things like roofing, which was quite common in those states at that time, where women have groups and they now give them training, they also give them inputs. So that can be used to help women. Give them inputs, give them training, then you help them to open up land and make land accessible to them so that not only will they have access to credit, they can have extension services, they can manage their enterprises, so whatever money they get, they are able to repay. And then, another thing, you have credit, you have production, you have markets. So they need to develop the markets also. Because we discover that these women, especially those in rural areas, they are more vulnerable to this problem. They suffer, they do so much to cultivate. But access to the market, they still sell within their local environment. Middlemen or middle women from the cities, they come to buy cheap from them. And then those people now take to the cities and sell at a very high price. So those who suffer in the rural areas, they don't have access to market. Why is it so? If you cultivate your one bag of beans, for instance, for you to now hire a vehicle to take it to go and sell in Benin, you will not break even. That transportation problem, having to go and come back. But if they can now organize a market, they pull their commodities together in a place, when they pull it together in the center, in their own community, for instance, then they can now negotiate better when people come to buy from them. Then they may decide now to transport it in bulk to the city. because it's now a collective effort, collective expenses, a collective profit. They should also help. So they need to organize these markets in such a way that in the community, in the rural area also, markets should not be controlled by the middlemen that come from the city. Let them take control of what they cultivate, they put it together, then they can price better or deliver to where they can now sell the central place. That is where that market aspect can be resolved.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof, for taking time to come on the program this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we've been talking about how we can target more women farmers for sustainable agricultural development. And I would like to state here that if sustainable agricultural development is to be translated into food and nutrition security, the active engagement of women is absolutely necessary, because women also have the right to be equal partners in the agricultural sector. That has been on the program for today, and we would like to hear from you. So you can send us your comments and contributions through text messages. Our social media handles are on the screen. You can also visit any of our offices or our corporate head office at number 18 Johnson Road, Benin City. Till we come your way again. Peace. Bye-bye. Really hope you have enjoyed all the packages we have for you on today's edition of the Saturday Man and Treat. I just want to say a very big thank you to the executive producer, Akiola Olabe, the producer, Oladayo Olanikoka, and the assistant producer, Abdul Jalil of OSBC. Eddie.
Yeah, this is where we're going to round up the program for today. Viewers at home, I hope you enjoyed every bit of our program for today.
Yes, just before we go, I also want to say thank you to the cameraman, the person at the MCR, VTR, TriCaster, everybody that contributed to the success of today's program. My name is Oluchi Amuda from...
My name is Kayode Adebayo.
Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.